Jeffrey Epstein, bowing to political pressure from his own party after initially resisting those efforts. Democrats have used the Epstein issue, which affects them far more than the Republican Party, in order to try to distract from our amazing victories, Trump said in a social media post, as he announced he had signed the bill. Now the bill requires the Justice Department to release all files and communications related to Epstein, as well as any information about the investigation into his death in federal prison in 2019, within 30 days. It allows for redactions about Epstein's victims for ongoing federal investigations, but DOJ cannot withhold information due to embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity. President Trump has a message for his MAGA base on immigration, and he knows they do not want to hear it. The president on Wednesday again offered a defense of visas for high-skilled workers, arguing that Americans don't have the know-how to fill certain jobs. He pointed to the multi-billion-dollar expansion of chip production in Arizona, saying the company will bring in thousands of workers and that he will welcome those people. "I love my conservative friends. I love MAGA," Trump said during his remarks at the U.S.-Saudi Investment Forum at the Kennedy Center. "But this is MAGA, and those people are going to teach our people how to make computer chips, and in a short period of time, our people are going to be doing great." President Trump also this week approved a 28-point plan for peace between Russia and Ukraine that top administration officials have quietly developed over the last several weeks, in consultation with Russian envoy Kirill Dmitriev and Ukrainian officials, a senior administration official told NBC News. Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff, Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and the president's son-in-law Jared Kushner were involved in formulating the plan, the official said. The plan focuses on giving both sides security guarantees to secure a lasting peace, the senior official told NBC News. Trump continues to prioritize foreign policy in an effort to bring an end to endless wars. Our quote of the day, "Our door is faith. If it is strong enough, the whole house is safe," Saint Basil. Coming up, our saint of the day. You're listening
When most people hear the word coffee, they conjure up visions of a ceramic mug in the palm of both hands and a woman slowly sipping. This isn't a Folgers commercial. It's for Capuchin Holy Roast, and here's how I take mine. With a dash of vanilla, a pinch of cinnamon, a spoonful of honey, and lots of heavy cream. Add some ice, shake, and then enjoy, while knowing that's $6 the libs at Starbucks can't spend to ruin my life and yours.
Capuchin Holy Roast in whole bean or grind is available at shop.mychurch.com.
Do you know what the Maha and MAGA movements both have in common?
I give up. A pair of A's?
That's about as right as Pink and Charlize Theron are on child rearing. No. The Captain of Kings, the KingDude himself, did radio shows about them both before they were used to sell clicks for grifters. What the heck do Laura Loomer and AC/DC Drano want now?
There's nothing like it on Radio Free Farm Friday. New episodes drop on Friday mornings. My Church Show at 9 East, and catch over 100 episodes as podcasts on our app and on crusadechannel.com.
Our saint of the day, Saint Edmund the Martyr, is the patron saint of kings, victims of pandemics, and protection against the plague. He was the king of East Anglia in the 9th century who was martyred by the Danes in 869 after refusing to renounce the Christian faith. He is honored on his feast day, and in art is often depicted with his sword and arrows, the instrument of his torture. Edmund became king around the age of 14 and was known as a model ruler who treated everyone with equal justice. When the Danish great heathen army invaded, Edmund refused their demands to either renounce his faith or become their vassal. He was captured, bound to a tree, and shot with arrows until his body was covered with them. He was then beheaded. His relics were moved to St. Edmundbury, and he became a popular saint, with many churches dedicated to him. He was once considered the primary patron saint of England. President Trump is poised to host New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani for a meeting at the White House, marking an about-face for a duo who have painted themselves as diametrically and ideologically opposed in their political visions for the country. On his social media platform Truth Social, Trump wrote late on Wednesday that Mamdani will visit the Oval Office on Friday. A U.S. citizen jailed in Saudi Arabia for criticizing the royal family online was freed on Wednesday by Saudi authorities, ending a 4-year ordeal in the country according to media reports. Saad al-Mahdi's release came just a day after President Trump met with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in Washington, D.C., per the New York Post. Aldi, a 75-year-old retired engineer and U.S. resident since 1976, was detained in 2021 during a family visit to Riyadh and later sentenced to more than 19 years in prison on terrorism charges and tied to a series of posts online. President Trump continues to bring home hostages across the world with very little accolades being given to him for it, despite the fact that there were many hostages taken under Biden with very few coming home. You're listening to Crusade Channel News, seeking news and finding truth.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the Silk Feather. Ma'am, what would you like to drink?
Oh, I'll take the Dom Perignon, of course.
Ah, the lady has taste. And you, sir?
I'll just take the Diet Coke.
Oh, dear.
You know, what I miss about the good old days before social media and AI ruined everything?
Let me guess. No fat people outside of the circus. And Ozempic was the name of the demon in C.S. Lewis story, right?
Well, yeah. But besides that, classic radio shows with actors and actual stories.
Well, lucky for the human race, the Crusade Channel is rolling over 900 episodes of a show called Suspense.
Tweak your mystery-solving muscles over lunch and catch episodes of Suspense, weekdays noon till 2 on the Crusade Channel. Live talk and classic radio the way it should be.
I like my version of suspense. Hey!
Doesn't work without me.
Somebody's laid Thor's hammer down. Thor comes in from off screen. Boom. It is a Thor's Hammer Thursday. Like Church Show, we are live doing talk radio the way it ought to be done, asking the question of the day.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
Well, I'll tell you.
In order to ensure the security and continuing stability,
I'm going to have to see this Thor's
the
hammer
Republic
thing
will be reorganized
for myself.
into the first galactic empire. For a safe and secure society.
So I'm calling on Congress to pass these reforms, and I'm going to sign them in the wall.
No, you're not.
Fall down the thunder, well, now you've got it. You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
Alrighty, our call-in line telephone number, if you'd like to be on the program today, 844-527-8723, 844-5 Email address, same as it ever has been. I am KingDude at protonmail.com. Crusader Stadium chat room is open for your commentary at crusadechannel.com /chat. This portion of the program brought to you by, you got to go to the store this morning. Faux Pas Printing is printing the Red Cap work shirts tomorrow. I know a guy. I can still get you one. But basically, we were sold out of what we pre-ordered. So I sent an email out yesterday hoping that, what happened to our once envy of the world, envy of the radio world t-shirt and imprinted goods business, Maggie? It was so good, Mark Levin used to make fun of me for it. And you sell another t-shirt, you big dope. And fast forward to today, and you practically can't give them away. Did people stop that are, like with listeners, dudes, I still wear t-shirts. You wear them every day. Stop wearing t-shirts and cool Dickies style button-down work shirts. What the hell is going on here? In any event, you can still get one, but I got to have it this morning by 9 a.m. Because when Cleo goes to order those shirts and goes to set up the printing, that's it, they're done. Now, it will come in later in 4 weeks, but if you want one to be shipped next week, then go to shop.mikechurch.com. Just check your email. Click the link in the email with the work shirts in it, and you'll be good to go. Wow. 3 pages, double front and back, with a total of 15 digital media files today. You know, folks, I don't think that the release of the Epstein files is going to go the way the lunatic left thinks it's going to go. But then again, these people don't know how to tell the truth. Truth is a fiction to them. It is a unicorn. It is something that other people do. It's not something that they are skilled in. It's not something that they have any experience with. And so it only makes sense that when they are confronted or given the chance to tell the truth, they just don't know how to do it. There it is. I finally found the Thor's hammer GIF to put it into the chat room. I don't think that this Epstein thing is going to go down the way that they thought. The Democrats also have a serious slander problem on their hands. You have Jasmine Crockett going on the floor of the House of Representatives. Now, if you say something on the floor of the House of Representatives, it goes into what's called the congressional record. So everyone understand that you can actually go all the way back. If you want to spend your time doing it, you can do it. And I have done it before. You can go all the way back in the Library of Congress, and almost all of it's digitized now. You can go back to April of 1791 and the convening of the first Congress, and you can see everything that was said on the floor. As a matter of fact, I can tell you what was said on the first day of Congress in 1791. That little Jimmy Madison showed up. He and only 10 or 11, it was 10 or 11 other members of Congress, and they said, do we have enough people here to have a quorum? Because they knew how many congressmen they should have. I forget, it wasn't very many. At that point, you had 11 colonies that had ratified. You probably had 30 some odd members of Congress, and they had 10. And Madison says, do we have a quorum? And they said no. And they said, well, they just adjourned. And they kept adjourning for like a week. And in any event, I say this because if you say something on the floor of the House of Representatives, it goes into what's called the congressional record. The things that Jasmine Crockett said on the floor the other day are now in the historical record. They're in the congressional record. You can't get them out. There's no scrubbing them. No one's going to go. Google can't go and erase them for you. You said what you said, and it was recorded. They have a stenographer in there, and now they have tape, so they can just read back. They can stop the tape. They can back the tape up and rewind it and make sure that they got it right. I don't know that they do that. She said, the Secretary of the EPA, Lee Zeldin, she said that Lee Zeldin, who now over there working for Trump over there, the Environmental Protection Agency, he took campaign finance contribution from the Jeffrey Epstein up in here. It's embarrassing to have thug life on the floor of the House of Representatives. I hope the American public is actually watching this and paying attention. Just a little bit. Then she goes on CNN. She goes, I never said that. Caitlin Collins, of all people, goes like, well, here's the tape if you want to see it. She goes, notice I said, A, Jeffrey Epstein. No, you didn't. That's not what you said. You said the Jeffrey Epstein. Come to find out, Zeldin did get a contribution from a physician named Jeffrey Epstein who lived on Long Island. We are on a collision course, I believe, with destiny, to use Star Wars terms. Remember yesterday we revealed to you, as many other people did, but we did it first and we did it best because that's what we do here on the Crusade Channel and the Mike Church Show. Hope you're enjoying us on the app, crusadechannel.com/app. We revealed the Insurrectionist Caucus and this sick, revolutionary, that's what they're trying to do, spark a revolution, revolutionary, incendiary advertisement calling for members of the military. It wasn't just members of the military, though. There's anyone that's sworn an oath to protect and defend the Constitution. They weren't just talking to military members. I think people are missing this. Some of the people even on Fox News. They said they were talking about anyone, which would include a CIA officer, an NSA agent, hell, an IRS agent swears an oath. If they give you a badge, you swear an oath. You're not to carry out illegal, illicit, unlawful, unconstitutional orders. America's carrying on you. Crimes are being committed against citizens of the United States. Not true. I keep waiting for the president, for President Trump to deliver Thor's hammer smackdown of epic proportions against Alyssa Slotkin of Michigan, the other traitor from Arizona, the supposed astronaut. There was then there's two other women, and then there's the corncob dude from Colorado, Snow. They got called out yesterday. There are members of the House of Representatives and at least one member of the United States Senate who asked Alyssa Slotkin to resign. Quit. An embarrassment and shame. You're a disgrace. You don't belong in the United States Senate. Mark Kelly is the supposed purported astronaut. The husband. You know why he's in the Senate? Because his wife took a bullet to the head. That's a true story. Gabby Giffords is his wife. Notice her name is Gabby Giffords, not Kelly. There's a story there. I told it once before. I'm not going to tell it again. This kind of, you guys are military types. You call this what? Insubordination. Here's something that's interesting. What happens to you, all of you military, all my ex-military or current military bros? God love you. What happens to you if you get dishonorably discharged? What happens to your the rest of your life? Let's say you made a stupid, terrible, boneheaded mistake, and you only did it once, and your CO went, I never liked you anyway, so no, I'm not giving you another chance. Let's say they bring you to the JAG officer or whatever, and they court-martial you, and it actually holds up, and then you get dishonorably discharged. This is like the stamp of the scarlet letter on your chest. It follows you for the rest of your life. If someone ever does do a background check on you and they find out that you're ex-military and that you're dishonorably discharged, People are going to question your integrity. They're going to question your loyalty. They're going to question how good of a person you are. Kind of what kind of morals do you have and what have you. Point is, it's a terrible thing. I think that these 5 insurrectionist traitors ought to be dishonorably discharged from the House of Representatives and from the Senate. It would only take, and look, the House determines its own rules. If Mike Johnson wants to have those 2 witches expelled, censured or expelled, he absolutely can. And if there's not a rule that says that he can, then he can write one. He can pull a Pelosi, keep the caucus together, and pass it. I think if you want to run around and you want to say these kind of things and privately or what have you, then okay. You know, I don't think that you should, but if you want to talk about insurrection and being sedition and all that stuff, if you want to say that privately, that's one thing. To go out and to say it publicly and then to exhort sworn members of the government. Look, you can complain about the U.S. government all you want, and we do complain about it. And yeah, it it is. You know what? I don't usually play sound bites in the first segment. Do you have the Tim Burchett clip?
I do.
Play Tim Burchett. I think this guy sums it up pretty well. Yeah.
Committee for taking this up because I realize what we're up against. I mean, this is, you know, everybody talks about this place being a dadgum swamp. It's not a swamp. A swamp is something cool God created. It filters water. Animal life lives and flourishes around it. This is a sewer. This is created by man, and it needs to stop. We've, you know, for years, Congress has been using hardworking American taxpayers' money to get rich. Dadgum, it's got to stop. America knows what the heck's going on. Everybody wants to knock Pelosi. Heck, she's not even in the top 10. Get on that unusual
Maggie, can you
side.
pause that? Don't cut away. Is that Jayapal that's standing behind him?
Sure
It is Jayapal. Okay.
She's against congressional stock trading, too.
Well, call me a blessed boy.
Pathetic, folks. We all know what's going on. Congress knows what the hell's going on, and it needs to stop. This body has been enriching itself on the taxpayers' dime for too dadgum long, and it's got to stop. This place is crooked and is as crooked as a dog's leg. It's an old East Tennessee saying, but it's the truth, and it needs to stop.
You know who he reminds me of? I wonder what Daniel Boone was like in real life, or what Davy Crockett was like in real life. I bet they were probably a lot like, because they both went to Congress. People forget. No, okay, wait a minute. Maybe Daniel Boone. Davy Crockett went to Congress. One of the two, Daniel Boone or Davy Crockett. Great American frontiersman also served in the House of Representatives. You have Tim Burchett there, and look who's standing behind him. The member of the squad, what's her first name? I know her last name is Jayapal. She's usually on the wrong. She is on the wrong side of everything. Well, she's standing right there, and she's nodding her head, going like, "Yeah, this institution is crooked." Pramila Jayapal. Just an interesting confluence of peoples that are standing there. That ad, I believe, has shocked many people. You know, you accuse the Democrats of being traitors and Satan worshipers and all the things that they are. You don't ever actually expect them to do it. You don't ever actually expect them to actually come out of the closet and actually record on film, yes, I am a member of the House of Representatives. Yes, I am a member of the United States Senate. I was elected to the United States Senate, and I am a seditionist. I am an insurrectionist, and I want complete and total open armed rebellion against the duly elected commander-in-chief of the United States. That's quite a bold, brash statement there, don't you think? And I don't think that that has anything to do with free speech. You can hide behind the Constitution all you want. As Austin Powers would say, it's not cricket, baby. So we'll talk about that as the program unfolds before your very ears today. Speaking of, thanks to all of you that went and rated the app yesterday. We're not out of the woods yet, and left reviews. I don't know what's taking Apple so long. I told Maggie, said we started the day yesterday with 33 5-star reviews. We finished it with 24. And I don't know, maybe Apple is quarantined because there were so many of you that went and reviewed it. They will get posted or published. I don't know what the holdup is, but thank you for that. Open your app up, and if you have rated it, then you don't need to do anything. But if you find it in the App Store, if you go to crusadechannel.com/app, if you haven't rated it, it will allow you to tap however many star ratings you wish to give it, and a review, and we'll continue to encourage that. As the program gets underway, President Trump signed the Epstein file released yesterday. This isn't going to turn out the way they thought it was going to turn out. I'm telling you. 2 Democrats are already outed. The new files haven't even been released. And you already have 2 Democrats going, okay, look, here's what's going to be in it. I'm going to tell you right now. What is going to be found out is that politicians played in the playpen of a Satan-worshiping, child-diddling, pederast psychopath. What's the difference between a sociopath and a psychopath? I need to restate that. Epstein was a sociopath. What's the difference between a psychopath and a sociopath? A boy, this button is going to be the end of us. A sociopath doesn't have any remorse. Sociopath does not have the emotion that they call empathy. So if you're a sociopath, it's going to go. It's going to go during the... yeah, well, it requires a soldering iron. You got to solder that. You can't just, it's not a snap-on. So to take it apart, you have to pull the whole thing out. I have a soldering iron. I didn't say I didn't have one. I haven't used it in 15 years, but I have one. In any event, a sociopath does not have the emotion called empathy. They cannot empathize with someone else. They're just devoid of what we call remorse. So Jeffrey Epstein is a sociopath. You're going to find out that one political party was showered with hundreds of millions of dollars of campaign contributions. It's not going to be in the thousands. It's going to be in the millions. It's not going to be in the tens of millions. It's going to be in the hundreds of millions because he was laundering money, among other things that he was doing, for some of the world's most corrupt, crooked people. So you're going to find out that the Democrat Party was showered with literally hundreds of millions of dollars over the course of 25, 30 years from this Epstein creep. Epstein had no remorse for what he had done. None. You can, the Megyn Kelly tape that we played 1 week ago today, where she said, I'm privy to these tapes. I'm not going to show them to you, but they let us see them. And I saw Epstein. I saw Michael Wolff. I saw the Rummels, the Rummels woman, the attorney from the Obama administration. And I saw Steve Bannon. And they were there to reform Epstein's image, his reputation. They were there to do PR damage control. And I've just been thinking about it since we played the tapes and we were talking about him, that what she was describing was as Epstein was standing there kind of laughing and giggling at the suggestions that to reform his image, what you were witnessing was a sociopath. He didn't know that he did anything wrong. He didn't think that he'd done anything wrong.
Hey, Jim. Remember when we used to be like Joe Walsh?
I'm making records, my fans, they can't wait.
Now we just talk about making hit records. Well, parody versions of hit records.
Join the King Dude and Jim Mosier as they pick apart the greatest parody songs of all time and the hits they were based on. It's Album Autopsy, exclusively on the Crusade Channel. Live talk and podcast radio the way it should be, and doesn't disappoint your mother.
This title and many other new releases are available alongside classics and favorites 24/7 at shopmikechurch.com. You can also shop using your app. Download and shop today at shopmikechurch.com/app.
Hello, Crusaders. I'm Magdalene Rose at the Crusade Channel News Desk with your Crusade Crucials for Thursday, November 20th, 2025. This report is brought to you by the new Crusade Channel 2.0 app. The all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app is the best way to listen to the King Dude ever, and installation is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, and then open the app. It is really that easy. Here's your in-the-market report. The three major indices closed with gains. The S&P 500 rose 0.38%, the Nasdaq Composite gained 0.59%, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average ticked up 47 points. NVIDIA earnings, the AI chip giant, was the main focus of the day, with its stock rising nearly 3% ahead of its aftermarket earnings. The strong showing was viewed as a potential bellwether for the entire AI industry and broader market sentiment. Retail sector performance, corporate earnings took center stage in the retail sector. Target reported mixed performance with earnings meeting expectations but sales falling short. In National Calendar Day news, it's National Rural Health Day. National Rural Health Day focuses on the medical resources rural communities offer and how it impacts small towns and their citizens. The third Thursday in November each year highlights the varied opportunities rural health offers. Our quote of the day, "Our door is faith. If it is strong enough, the whole house is safe." St. Basil. Our saint of the day, St. Edmund the Martyr.
Hello, Crusaders. It's Trader Jill, aka Lee. When I want the best in live talk radio in the palm of my hand, I always have it with the all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app, even for technophobes like Jim.
I heard that!
Listening to or watching the King Dude live or on podcast is just literally 2 clicks away, and installing the app is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. Tap login now or proceed as guest. See? It's really that simple. Don't ever be without the Master Chief himself. Again, no matter where you are, install the Crusade Channel app today.
The all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app is the best way to listen to the Crusade Channel ever. And installation is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. It is literally that easy. Install the Crusade Channel 2.0 app today at crusadechannel.com/app.
Saying the things that need to be said because they need to be said. Yet other people can't seem to find the gumption or the talent or skill to say them. We are live here. It's the Mike Church Show on the Crusade Channel on a Thursday. Oh, tonight's Thursday Night Throwdown is going to be a good one. Oh, they're all good. Tonight's going to be Stuffmas Specialties. So, whatever it is that you make for your Thanksgiving dinner that you think no one else makes or makes it as good as you, bring that recipe into the stadium tonight for a smackdown. I told Swallow, I'm like, dude, bring your oyster dressing recipe. It's on. As an example, how many people have ever had actual real Cajun oyster dressing?
First of all, that's not necessarily a Cajun thing. That's a New Orleans.
It's a no. Okay, whatever.
Throw the flag, challenge flag.
You know what? You can take it up with Grandma Pearl. Oh, but you can't.
New Orleans.
And after Grandma Pearl, you can take it up with Papa. So bring your recipe, whatever, or your delight, or your appetizer, or your bread, or whatever it is. The way you do a turkey, it doesn't matter. Everybody bring something to the dinner tonight. Recipes, Smackdown, Throwdown tonight. 6 p.m. Central here on the Crusade channel and on YouTube. It's live. You can watch it on the YouTube or on the Crusade channel TV on the YouTube. Okay, so it's still early. What time is it? 7:36 on the East Coast. 6:36 here Central Time. I'm just reading this new rule that is in the Crusader Stadium chat room, and that Maggie has handed down has taken Thor's hammer and has handed it down. Today, everyone will be given 2 comments. 2 comments max of Trump sucks, the world sucks, and we're all going to die. Then comments like that after the 2 will be nuked. Some of you may be wondering, why are you picking on me? This is a place for free exchange of ideas. As a member, and I'm not going to mention his name, but he can do it if he wants, told me yesterday, that chat room is private property. We rent it from Rumble Talk. We own the space on our ISP and our DNS server on our website. It's ours. And we don't pick fights with very many people. As a matter of fact, in 15, you know, the chat room goes all the way back to Obama's State of the Union address, 2010. Where's Robin Weiss at when I need her? Robin Weiss can vouch for me because she was there that night. She was there on the first night that we did it. It was the 2010 State of the Union speech, and we broadcast it. And most people were listening in real time, but we broadcast it on the old MikeChurch.com, which is still there, I just don't update it, website, and with the Rumble Talk chat room. And people could go into the chat room, and a thing was born. So in 15 years, I can count the amount of times someone has been booted. There's like 3 people. Danny, who else? There's not a lot. In any event, in the last month, I'm just going to share this with you people. Kaiser says he makes a mean glass of ice water. You know what, dude? That's a throwdown item, because if you have someone that can make ice water with sonic ice cubes, that's one-upping you.
Sonic has a good ice.
Because Sonic has those, what are they, little ovals? What? Little pellet ice cubes. People go nuts. You can actually buy an ice machine that actually makes Sonic-style ice cubes. True story.
True story. You can also get a bag. You can get a bag of Sonic Ice at the Sonic drive-thru.
Did you
People
know that?
didn't know that.
How many of you people knew that? How many of you knew that you can actually go to a Sonic drive-in? This is a true story. And you can go, yeah, I'll have give me the double smash. No, mash. Oh, hell, make it a triple smash burger. Yeah, give me the large fried cheese sticks and a Sonic Flurry Oreo shake. Oh, wait. I have a bag of ice, too. Will that complete your order, sir? They're not going to go like, you want a bag of what? They're going to, will that complete your order? A dude will then show up at your car with your burger and your shake and your cheese sticks and a bag of ice. So if you want to have a party and you want to have Sonic Ice, it's a true story. You can actually get Sonic Ice. Who told us that? We didn't know it. We did a whole half-hour show on it because somebody said, I'm like, you lie. And he goes, no, you can actually get a bag of Sonic Ice. So let me just share a tidbit with all of you that are listening right now about our beloved Crusader Stadium chat room. If it was just one, we would have ignored it. But it's not just one. So several people have actually taken the time to write yours truly lately. And I get the emails. And one of them was a private signal message. Two of them were actually emails. And they told me that they were kind of regular chat room, a Crusader Stadium chat room attendees, and that they enjoyed the community and the camaraderie and all that. But lately it had turned into something that was not pleasant and depressing and just stealing their joy for the day. So they'd stop coming. You know, we lost Dr. Torres about 6 weeks ago over this, although I think that he was kind of an instigator as well. But Dr. Torres dropped out and sent Maggie a note. He goes, I can't do it, and I just can't take it. It's too much negativity, and it just brings the soul down. And I tell you, you can only endure so much doom. Somebody was on Twitter, it was Eric Sammons yesterday, was saying that there are boomers and there are zoomers, right? And in between the boomers and the zoomers are the doomers. And people are like getting turned off now and are turning away from the doomers. Well, I think there's just a natural reason for that. And again, it's the reason why you don't invite people to your Christmas party that you know are going to start crap. That you know are going to find someone there, and they're going to find something that's going to rub them the wrong way and to start an argument over, or to gather a group around so we can all see who can sprint their way fastest to hell. And I don't think, and I've been dropping hints, and I've been trying to say, play like, can we up the conversation here a little bit? Okay, we get it. Life is really bad for you. Trump sucks. Okay, we heard. Yeah, he hasn't delivered on. Yeah, I know, we get it. But just the constant repetition of it is just, it's not conducive to good conversation. And as Maggie pointed out before we went on air today, we're not Democrats. That's what they do. We're Christians, for heaven's sake. We're supposed to be looking forward to a blessed eternity and working towards it. So that's the message. No, you can stir crap up and you can do smackdowns. I mean, we're up. You should know what we're talking about. Kenny Summers says, I get mad at a lot of things, but I know Jesus, and that beats everything. You should pretend like Fiorella is in the chat room, and then you all be fine. Because if Fiorella was in there, Fiorella going, oh, I just can't stand it today. You know, such and such. If you say something like that again, I'm a red check mark in the chat room. I will be forced to remove your commentary, and then I might even have to ban you from the room. Just pretend that Fiorella or Shannon is there, and you'll all be fine. Yeah, Shannon didn't take no crap off of nobody. All right, I want to talk about something that's been bugging the living, literally a bad James Bond movie out of me, The Living Daylights. Oh, you just happen to have a story of it in a pile of prep. What is unaffordable? American greatness. The Wall Street Journal is an enemy of making America great again. The Wall Street Journal is filled with Zionist neocon hacks. As a matter of fact, I don't think that there's anything that remains of the old once great Wall Street Journal editorial board, unless I'm pretty sure Robert Bartlett is dead. The once great Wall Street Journal editorial board is no more. The Wall Street Journal editorial board is never Trump. It never stopped being never Trump. Of course, you know Rupert Murdoch owns the Wall Street Journal now. It's part of the Murdoch Media Group. The Wall Street Journal employs the likes of cranks like Peggy Noonan and others. The Wall Street Journal editorial position is anti-MAGA. It is anti-tariff. It is pro-America. It's everything that you think that the Wall Street Journal should not be. It has become. Well, the Wall Street Journal ran a front page full editorial that was published in a couple of parts the other day, where they basically said it's over. For the second time now, Trump's going to finish killing all of us that he didn't finish killing you the first time. And then you get goofball goons like Rod Dreher that pop into it and go like, I was on the phone with a friend last night and told me she had to pay $35 for a pack of magic markers for her kid for school. This America's over. I'm so glad I'm in the EU and not an American anymore. You know what, Rod? We're glad you're not here anymore, E2. Repairs are underway. I'm just going to say that. They have not all been effectuated yet, and yes, they could be done on steroids, and I wish that they would. And I talk about it every single day. But you're playing into the enemy's hands with this, we're all doomed, and everything has gotten worse, and he's making it worse. And what you know the tropes. I was reading this, and they did this. They did this. And Dreher republished it and reposted it. 150,000 other people went, yeah, yeah. How many of you remember Barack Hussein Obama's girl named Julia? Maggie, see if you can find the YouTube video for the Obama campaign's 2012 commercial. It's an infomercial. Just the Obama campaign, Julia. You'll find it. How many of you remember Julia? Oh, miniature, pick me, pick me. What was Julia? Julia was the sum total of a woman who had been raised from the cradle as a Democrat, as a human-hating, government-coddled, single, cat lady, loser Democrat. She was packaged in a little animated cartoon that they made for the Obama campaign as the great American young woman. There it is. You found her.
I think this is it, yeah.
What was Julia? Well, in the words of Jim Carrey, a lehu zher. Without Obamacare, Julia's breast cancer would not be treated and she would die in a back alley in a dumpster. Without AFDC payments, Julia would not eat. Without the United Negro College Fund or whoever funding her education in the government and Pell Grant picking up the rest of the tab, she wouldn't have learned to read and write. Without a physical fitness program paid for by the United States government of some sort, Julia wouldn't have learned how to walk. Julia only learned how to manage her checkbook because there was a Title IX government program for girls to learn math that your tax dollars had paid for. She was completely and totally fabricated and created, sustained, animated, and survived because the federal government and Democrats deigned it so.
And she didn't start having a child until she was 31.
And by the way, she didn't have a child until she was 31 because she couldn't afford it. Is it a video?
I think it is a video, but it's...
I'm pretty sure there's a video of Julia.
It's a pretty long video.
Do not become promoters of the new Julia. I'll tell you when it's time to push the panic button and try and find chalets that we can move to in Switzerland. The time is not now. The enemy is mortified. Look, when the enemy starts cutting TV commercials telling the military that it needs to save them by basically starting an insurrection and revolting against legitimate orders that are being handed down by the CIC, or a legitimate order handed down by the CIC, who the order is then handed down through the Secretary of War or whatever, you got a major problem on your hand here. People that are falling into this and are now becoming disciples of and promoters of everything is worse than it was just 10 months ago, everything is more expensive. No one ever said that inflation was going to be brought to a complete and total grinding halt. Believe me, I wish we were in a deflationary cycle. I wish that the government would shut down for the rest of the year. I didn't get my wish, and I'm not going to commit suicide over it. And I'm also not going to join the team that is cheering on defeat. People that cheer for defeat are not your friends. Don't cheer for defeat. I don't want anyone. I don't even want Democrats to lose. Don't become a Julia, is the point. And there is a movement out there. They think they've got this. And believe me, the media is still powerful enough to drive this point home. The new Democrat Party's appeal to the public these days is that the failure of a free enterprise system has made America unaffordable and that all Americans need government help now. By the way, if President Trump is unable to affect this change or to fix it, I'm just going to leave it out there again one more time. Please tell me who it is that steps into the breach and does it. Who even attempts to do it. All of you that have thrown the entire endeavor of life under the bus. He hasn't done it. He's had 10 months. Okay. Like in our spot with Jim, can you help me come up with some new commercials? Hamana. Hey, Lee, you're in. Coming, coach. And Lee comes in to bail Jim out. No, batting for Jim is number 11, Lee. Who's going to come in to bat cleanup? I think we need a review sometimes of how we got here. And it wasn't because Trump did it. In order to make housing more affordable in the early 2000s, Fannie and Freddie Mac, U.S. government mortgage guarantor companies that, by the way, should not exist. If you want competition among usurers, then I think we ought to have competition among usurers, and I think the federal government ought to get out of the usury business. I also think that they should get out of the professional debt usury business by passing usurious debt onto children that haven't even been born yet and balance the budget. It can be done. Speaker Gingrich did it for 3 years, 1997, 98, and 99. It would have happened in 98, 99, and 2000. It can be done. It has been done in our adult lifetime, and it was out of control. The budget deficit last year before Gingrich took the gavel in 1994 was something like $360 billion. In today's dollars, that's like $3 trillion. So don't say that it can't be done. It absolutely can be done. You just have to have the willpower to do it. Here's what they said back in the day. I guess I'm the only one, and this guy, Richard C. Lyons at AM Greatness, that remembers this. Am I the only one that remembers mortgages? What's that? Oh, you knocked on our door? We're a mortgage company. You want a mortgage? Come on in. Do you have a down payment? No, don't worry about it. Would you like to finance your down payment? I can finance my... Hell yeah, you can finance your down payment. We call it a reverse second mortgage. How many of you people remember this? Do you remember a reverse second mortgage? What's that, Mike? Well, that's where you go to go buy a house that's, we're just round numbers, $300,000. How much was that? $300,000. $300,000. And you go and you say, okay, what's your down payment? We're going to need 10% down. 10%? How many? $30,000? I got $30,000. Don't worry about it. We're going to get this appraiser dude to come over here, and they're going to appraise this house at $320,000. Then we're going to sell it to you for $290. You're going to take out what's called a reverse second mortgage, and we're going to give the $30,000 to the builder as your down payment. Now, you got to pay it back. This was the scam they actually ran. How many of you people remember the Steve Carell movie, The Big Short? That's what they showed this in The Big Short. All this was legal, by the way. It was completely and totally legal. And then Robert C. Lyons says, no job, no income, no problem. For purchasing real estate properties, then Fannie and Freddie married that expansion with marketing adjustable rate mortgages. Remember, ARMs, which would float according to Federal Reserve rates. The outcome was the real estate stock market crash in 2008. Since then, between 2009 and 2016, the Fed rate was kept arbitrarily low at 0.75%, which inflated real estate prices from 2020 to 2022. The Fed rate was pushed down again to 0.25%, with the result of further increasing the average home price from $220,000 in 2010 to $420,000 in 2024. At the same time, the Federal Reserve had pushed up interest rates to 5.5%. So the average American has to pay more and borrow at higher rates for real estate, thanks to the government's interventions to make housing more affordable. In other words, epic failure. Now, I want someone to tell me how you plan to reverse this. SC Iceman, you're in finance. What's your plan? I'd love to hear how you reverse this. How do you undo that? Well, I suppose the first step is stop the bleeding, put Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac out of business. Close them down. Grandfather them in. Grandfather them out. You got a loan, you got to pay it back. No one else is getting a new one. No one is getting guaranteed a Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac loan ever again. No, the only exception that we're going to make is if you're a veteran and you can still apply for a VA loan. President Trump didn't create that monster. No, it is true. I'm not sure what they tried to do about it 2017 to 2021. The last year that was all, we're all caught up in the corona doom, so nothing about anything got done. The average American now has to pay more to borrow at higher rates, is the end result.
Is still researched, written, and performed by actual humans. Hey, what are you doing in here? Oh no! Get your hands off of me! You chipped my chip.
Boys, break it up! Jeez. Catch Crusade Channel News weekday mornings on the Crusade Channel. Live talk and podcast radio the way it should be.
No AI was harmed in the making of this radio content, but we hope to next time. In a world more and more infiltrated infiltrated with fake news, AI-generated slop-ola. Isn't it great knowing that Crusade Channel News is still researched, written, and performed by actual humans? Hey, what are you doing in here? Oh no! Get your hands off of me! You chipped my chip.
Boys, break it up! Jeez. Catch Crusade Channel News weekday mornings on the Crusade Channel. Live talk and podcast radio the way it should be.
No AI was harmed in the making of this radio content, but we hope to next time.
Hey folks, it's Mike Church, producer of the Shakespeare Radio Film Festival, announcing that we're offering the entire festival, including Joseph Pierce's commentaries, for just $19.95. That's a 50% discount. This exclusive download will include over 16 hours of festival content. To reserve your Shakespeare Radio Film Festival download at an incredible 50% off, go to crusadechannel.com/Hamlet.
When most people hear the word coffee, they conjure up visions of a ceramic mug in the palm of both hands and a woman slowly sipping. This isn't a Folgers commercial. It's for Capuchin Holy Roast, and here's how I take mine. With a dash of vanilla, a pinch of cinnamon, a spoonful of honey, and lots of heavy cream. Add some ice, shake, and then enjoy, while knowing that's $6 the libs at Starbucks can't spend to ruin my life and yours.
Cappuccino Holy Roast in whole bean or grind is available at shop.mychurch.com. Now in our 9th year, Crusade Channel News is simply the best daily newscast on all of radio.
News that informs and inspires and doesn't destroy any critical thinking brain cells.
Catch it at 6, 8, and 3 p.m. on the Crusade Channel, our app, and always on crusadechannel.com. Live talk and news radio.
The way it should be.
Back in the 90s, there was this thing called the cigar boom, where everyone was buying and smoking handmade cigars. But here's the thing. The popular cigars then were the best made cigars, like Fuente, Joya de Monterrey, and Avo. Over the next 10 years, craftsmanship was replaced by gimmick and slick packaging, and that's when I decided to get in the business and launched El Rey Dude Corona cigars. 20 years later, I launched Mancipio Maria cigars with that same principle in mind. Make a great handmade cigar, and that's exactly what we do in 4 sizes. I invite you to try a 4-pack sampler of my Mancipio Maria cigars and taste them for yourself in smooth, natural, or bold Maduro wrappers. And to sweeten the deal, I've discounted them 25% for a limited time. And as always, we include a personal humidifier with every order. To order, go to shop.mikechurch.com. Order $50 or more, and shipping is on me. Try my Mancipio Maria cigars today at shop.mikechurch.com.
It's the WWE and the UFC for live talk radio Thursday Night Throwdown, hosted by you. Win a seat at the table, win the throwdown, and then you pick next week's topic.
Now that's real live talk radio exclusively on the Crusade Channel. Radio, the way it should be.
Everybody loves a good trilogy. The Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and now the KingDude seasoning trilogy. There's Beast and Butt Rub, Acadiana Steak, and the brand new Chicken Mamu seasoning, a lemon herb-based rub that's won trophies in barbecue chicken cook-offs. Now, we've bundled all 3 spices together, and you can get them for one low price for less than it costs to rent a movie trilogy. And the KingDude offers you his personal money-back guaranteed of your taste buds' complete satisfaction. Order a KingDude seasoning trilogy today at shop.mychurch.com.
Hello, Crusaders. It's Trader Jill, a.k.a. Lee. When I want the best in live talk radio in the palm of my hand, I always have it with the all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app, even for technophobes like Jim. Listening to or watching the KingDude live or on podcast is just literally 2 clicks away, and installing the app is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. Tap login now or proceed as guest. See, it's really that simple. Don't ever be without the Master Chief himself. Again, no matter where you are, install the Crusade Channel app today.
The all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app is the best way to listen to the Crusade Channel ever. And installation is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. It is literally that easy. Install the Crusade Channel 2.0 app today at crusadechannel.com/app.
Thousands of years ago, if you owned a book, you had to haul it home in a wagon, and you'd need your 2 oldest sons to carry it into the house. Then you'd need one family member who could read.
The Story of Beowulf.
Another to hold the candle.
Hold it steady.
And another to turn the pages.
Not that close, you'll catch it on fire.
The good news for you is that was then and this is now. And now you have the Founders Trading Post store, where ordering, delivery, and reading your favorite books is literally a snap. Here's what's new this month.
Space Nostra, profound words of encouragement and consolation for weary members of the mystical body, from the slaves of the Immaculate Heart.
This title and many other new releases are available alongside classics and favorites 24/7 at shopmikechurch.com. You can also shop using your app. Download and shop today at shopmikechurch.com/app. It's the WWE and the UFC for live talk radio Thursday Night Throwdown, hosted by you. Win a seat at the table, win the throwdown, and then you pick next week's topic.
Now that's real live talk radio exclusively on the Crusade Channel. Radio, the way it should be.
In the era of the Biden regime, the Mike Church Show lives by the creed, if at first you don't succeed, try again. And if that doesn't work, move to Grenada.
Moving forwards, using all my breath. Making love to you was never second best. I saw the world crashing all around your face. Never really knowing it was always mesh and lace. I'll stop the world and melt with you. You've seen the difference and it's getting better all the time. There's nothing you and I won't do. I'll stop the world and melt with you. Dream of better lives, the kind which never hates. Trapped in a state of imaginary grace.
Okay, so you can have modern English or just kind of a snappy, peppy tune, right? People like to sing it and chug beer and red Solo cups. So we can have modern English or we can have Prozac. Modern English, Prozac. Modern English, Prozac. Modern English, Prozac.
Sucks to be you. Oh no, I know. Sucks to be you. Oh no, it's true. Sucks to be you. Oh no, I know. Sucks to be you. I'm a bastard if it's true.
Modern English, Prozac.
Did to me is what I did to you. I'm a bastard if it's true. And I guess it's true. Sucks to be you. Oh no, I know. Sucks to be you.
Or we can have Gilbert O'Sullivan. I'm not feeling it, TKD. These new rules are stifling me. I'm all by myself. No.
When a little while from now, if I'm not feeling any less sound, I promise myself to treat myself and visit a nearby tower, climbing to the top
To throw
myself off in an effort to make it clear to never walk away like when you're shattered, left standing in the lurch at a church where people saying, my God, that's tough. She stood him up. No point in us remaining. May as well go home as I did on my own, alone again, naturally.
Well, if that's not a pick-me-up tune, I don't know what is. Well, it's a new day here. On the Crusade Channel in the Mike Church Show. If you ran a convenience store, or let's just say you ran a country general store, It didn't even matter. Say it was a hardware store, a snowball stand. I don't care. And you had customer foot traffic. And you had people hanging out in front of your store, telling the people that were going to go into your store to buy a widget not to do it because it won't matter. Even if you fix the darn thing, we're all screwed anyway. You'd go out of business. The people scaring your widget customers off would go, I don't know what the point is anymore. So that's the point. It's not that it's all rainbows and golds paved roads and flying horses with unicorns or whatever. There are problems out there, but again, we're not Democrats. We are not Jonestowners. No one's passing the Kool-Aid around. And if it really is that bad, well, then band together and we'll just have to bail each other out of this until it gets better. Happily. You know, St. Teresa of Avila was one of the greatest saints of all of Christendom. And she had a saying in her monastery, in her convent. She had a rule. And the rule was, even though they were pretty much like a disc house, they didn't see very many people or take very many visitors, if any at all, other than priests and what have you. But she had a rule, and her rule was no dour sisters. She didn't want people running around her convent who were supposed to be contemplating the beauty and joy of everlasting life and God looking like they were instead anticipating a life in hell. So, Maggie has taken Thor's hammer and she passed it in there. It's not a big deal. Life is not going to change appreciably. That's all. All right, 844-527-8723. This portion of the program brought to you by Founders Trade and Post Store. We are your Advent HQ. You need an Advent calendar? We got them. You want a different style of Advent calendar? Choose from a couple of different ones. Need a St. Andrew's Chaplet. St. Andrew's Feast Day is coming up November the 30th. And then for the, what is it? It's the 21 days. How many days is it that you pray to St. Andrew's? It's 15. I think it's 15 days. Well, it's 15 prayers, right? Hail and blessed be the hour and moment in which the Son of God was born in Bethlehem in freezing cold. In that hour, vouchsafe, I beseech you, O God, to hear my prayer and grant my desires. I know that's not the whole prayer, but it's part of it. So anyway, it's a beautiful devotion. I do it every year myself and have done since like 2012 or 13 or so. If you need a chaplet, we have it. If you need Advent candles, we have them. Actual Advent candles. Shop.mikechurch.com. And you're going to need seasonings tonight at shop.mikechurch.com. And don't forget the 10th anniversary T-shirts and button-down red cap work shirts, which I can't wait to get mine so I can wear it. Okay, back to what we were talking about. You know, I wanted to look this up because I wanted to give you the actual Wall Street Journal story. I was talking about Barack Hussein Obama's Julia last segment. Here it is. So this is Ron Dreher's post 2 days ago. Goodbye, middle class. It's been fun. An American friend of mine went shopping at Target with her kid for school supplies yesterday. She sent me this pic with the comment, goodbye, middle class, it's been fun. My jaw dropped. $26 for a pack of colored markers. What the hell? I keep saying here that every time I go back from Hungary to the U.S. to visit, I'm shocked, I tell you, by the cost of living. But something about this dropped my jaw, colored markers. Now, I've never seen this particular pack of Paper-Mate colored markers. Let's see, purple, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8 colored markers. That comes in at just short of what, $3 a piece there? $3.50 a piece for a Paper-Mate colored marker, and I suppose that that Paper-Mate ought to sell the colored marker for 75 cents, as it probably once did. And he goes on, Aaron Rent is always worth reading, but his latest Substack is a compilation of articles about how affordable life is becoming for most Americans. Now, and then he says, it's so bad, it's 1,000 times worse than it ever was. Well, I went and got gasoline 2 days ago, and I don't put ethanol-laced gas in our automobiles. I only buy ethanol-free. So I drove down to the little store down the street that I have been buying ethanol-free from for 20 years, and my price on unleaded regular ethanol-free was $2.72 a gallon. I do not remember, I had to go back to 2019 or somewhere up in there. I don't remember going to the same gas station and paying $2.62 a gallon for unleaded ethanol-free. As a matter of fact, since at that station, he doesn't carry any ethanol gasoline because a lot of people with boats fill up there. And two-stroke engines, so you can't run ethanol-based gas in two-stroke engines. Well, you shouldn't. We shouldn't run it in anything. I can actually now buy the mid-grade test instead of the 87 octane. I can buy the 89 for the same price I was paying for unleaded with ethanol at the beginning of this year. Now, I guess people aren't running around buying gasoline anymore because supposedly the price of everything is up times 1,000. It's not, and it varies by state for gasoline. And then he continues. In the piece, Wren quotes a Wall Street Journal piece detailing the penny-pinching tragedies middle-class Americans are now undertaking. Now, I read this and I go like, well, why wouldn't you always do this? What is this gilded age of profligacy where people are just pouring gallons of Dawn dishwashing detergent down the drain because they can? Whoever did that? What made me think of Julia earlier was this piece. Saddled with ever-ballooning grocery bills, Julie Simpson decided to take matters into her own hands. So Julie Simpson was running her household and never took things into her own hands until Trump. Got it. She was fat and happy and singing songs and dances out of vaudeville under Bidenflation. It was only when Trump got in control of the inflation that it got out of control. Don't fall for this. What are you saying, prices? Prices are going up. I never said that inflation had been quelled. And I've also told you that there's a surefire way that they can knock it out tomorrow morning. That's balance revenue with expenditure. It's called a balanced budget. I've heard him say it. I don't know what they're doing about it. They should be working towards it. I wish it would happen tomorrow. I wish we had surpluses every year. You start paying this debt down. Stop printing money. There's a reason why gold's at $4,300 an ounce now. That's because the money supply keeps expanding. It needs to stop. Then again, I don't know if there is a plan. Like I said the other day, is there a plan that we just don't know about that has, in the near future, a rebalancing of currency to gold or linking the currency to gold? I know it's been talked about, but it's not happening today, so we'll deal with what we're dealing with now. I just thought I would throw it out there. Simpson, a software marketer in Mississippi, added water to her Dawn dish liquid and her Clorox floor cleaner to make it go further. It's so bad in Trump land. Muricans out there are watering down their water now. She stopped buying aerosol glass cleaner and replaced it with bottles of Windex. Who bought aerosol glass cleaner? By the way, we don't buy, we have Windex. The best window cleaner that they have these days is not made with ammonia, it's made with vinegar. And it's cheap as hell. It's basically water. It's basically apple vinegar watered down with a little bit of water in it. That's the two ingredient. Make it yourself.
This is just being frugal. What's wrong
That's what Maggie, that is my exact point. Would you like to tell the audience what you just said? Because that's my point. You can beat me to it.
I said all she's doing is being frugal. What's
No.
wrong with being frugal?
It's you're not supposed to be frugal in the age of MAGA and Trump, Maggie. As I said, you were supposed to be feeding Buckshot Dawn dishwashing detergent. Even if he doesn't need a bath, give him one every day. Why? Because the dishwashing detergent is so cheap. Now, I will tell you, and I've been chronicling this for about 6 years now. Well, no, 5 years since Biden. I will tell you, and we have talked about this. Go to Wendy's, go to Sonic and get a double junior cheeseburger. Just do it. If you have a Sonic near you, it's a little fun experiment. And now you had to have had one 5 years ago for the comparison to work, or it won't work. You're going to go to Sonic and you're going to order a double junior cheese, and they're going to bring it to your car, and you're going to open the bag up, and you're going to open that burger up, and you're going to go, what is this? You're going to have a Clara Peller moment. 62 chatters in the chat room this morning. CrusadeChannel.com/chat. Welcome. So, you open up. Maggie got one the other day. I got a double smash burger, and she got a junior cheeseburger. She opened up, she goes, what is this? I said, it's the old Wendy's hamburger commercial. They called this the golf ball burger. Clara Peller and the little old ladies were standing at the Wendy's counter going, where's the beef?
It was only a little bit bigger than a crystal burger.
Where's the beef? Remember the... Where's the beef? And then the Wendy's would come on, and then David Thomas would come on, and he'd go like, at Wendy's, we serve 100% American pure beef. It's really good, and we don't serve golf ball burgers. Then they show a picture of a ginormous hamburger bone with a little, like a round golf ball is the meat patty sitting in the middle of it. This has been going on. Here's what corporate America is doing. They're shrinking the size of things, but trying to keep the price the same. Now, this is smart marketing, smart packaging. Look around you. There's very few people that looks like they were emaciated and came out of a Sally Struthers send money to Nigeria commercial. I think we could lose a little bit of weight here, but I'm pretty sure that portion sizes could have used a haircut. Now, I'm not saying that they should, the rip-off should happen, but... In any event, Richard C. Lyons at AM Greatness. During the Obama presidency, there was a grand push to make a university education more affordable. How many of you remember this? That is when the whole student loan industry was taken over by the federal government. In 2010, the total U.S. student loan debt was $772 billion. Today, the debt is $1.75 trillion. How much? $1.75 trillion. What happened? Competition for student loans was made illegal. The government came in and took it over. You can actually go to jail if you loan money to a kid that wants to go to a four-year university and you call it a student loan. Barack Hussein Obama made it illegal. He also made illegal interns and paying interns stipends. In 2010, the total U.S. Student loan debt was $772 billion. Today, the total debt is $1.75 trillion. The average student today graduating carries $30,000 in debt. The average price of university education has risen from $20,000 in 2010 to $31,000 per year today, or 59% higher since the Democrat Party took over the U.S. university financing system. College education costs the average college education costs $120,000 today. That does not sound affordable. It sounds like every single student must have a loan. That was not the way it was before Obama. Look, both of my daughters, I told them when they graduated with a sixth grade education in high school, I told them by the time they got to 12th grade, They both had jobs to save your money. Open your savings accounts and start applying now. In 8th grade, start applying for grants right now. Start it. And they did. They never stopped. Reagan Marie Church went to 4 years at the University of Southeastern Louisiana, got a degree in biology, graduated cum laude, and had this much debt.
0.0.
She didn't owe a penny. That kid walked on that stage, grabbed her diploma from the dean, debt free. Did not owe a dime. So it could be done. And she got grants. She went to a smaller school. She worked 2 jobs, and she had tuition, and we helped her out a little bit. She paid her way. Madison May, went into a sorority, Alpha Phi at LSU. Went to LSU, more expensive school. But her mother had been tucking money away into a college savings account, a CSA, since they were both little children. Reagan just basically took the money and is going to spend it today. Madison spent it. She graduated LSU cum laude with this much debt.
0.0.
It still could be done 5 years ago. Can it be done today? I don't know. Is it possible today? I don't know. In the mid-1960s, the Democrat Party dominated Washington, D.C., and as part of the Great Society, decided to make health care more affordable. Gee, I wonder if it worked. With that, Medicare was created at an initial cost of $3 billion in 1967. Since 1967, the cost of Medicare has increased 370 times to an annual cost of taxpayers of $1.12 trillion. How much is that? $1.12 trillion. Medicaid began as a $1 billion program and has since increased to $909 billion today. Even with this government control and expenditure, the average cost per capita is $13,432 per year, compared to the average cost per capita of other developed nations of $7,393. Aren't costs supposed to go down or remain stable when the government creates affordability? Even with the government's control and expenditure, by 2010, healthcare in America was still deemed unaffordable. Remember this? No, healthcare just became unaffordable because of Trump. I'm pretty sure that they passed an act called Obamacare because they said healthcare was unaffordable. Correct me if I'm wrong. In answer to the problem, the Obama regime created the Affordable Care Act, actually called the ACA-PPA, Affordable Care Act, Patient Protection Act. 2 acts basically passed together at the same time. Supposedly, you got a health care Bill of Rights out the deal. I've never gotten to use it. Have you? You have the right to free speech in an emergency room. What would I need that for if I'm not protesting getting a forced vaccination? In 2013, the average consumer paid $232 for their monthly health insurance premium, with an average deductible of $2,425. Today, that same consumer must pay a minimum now of $621 a month or $7,500 a year, where they can expect to pay up to $6,000 in deductible. Premiums and deductibles are expected to increase by 25% again in 2026. The Affordable Care Act is becoming more unaffordable by the day. Who tried to repeal it? By the way, it was going to get repealed. It was down to 1 vote in the United States Senate. Who stabbed the turkey with a knife? John McCain. And Republicans actually did what Trump asked them to do back in 2018, and they passed the repeal. It was 1 vote. They needed 1 more, but they had 59 in the Senate. And McCain walked in there and gave the thumbs down, and the whole thing went down in flames, and here we are. In 2020, the Biden regime decided the earth could not afford the use of fossil fuels any longer, so it began an all-out effort to strangle the fossil fuel industry. You shouldn't call it that. Just call it combustible, complex hydrocarbons. Through regulations and executive orders that made land leases and drilling unaffordable, giving a 38% inflation spike in the cost of energy products. Inflating the cost of energy affects literally everything in an economy. That is produced, warehoused, or delivered. Think of the factories and machines that do the manufacturing. By the way, the Trump administration has repealed literally tens of thousands of pages of regulation. It is now basically legal to have a private nuke plant.
Believe it or else, 10 to 11 a.m. Central, every Tuesday on the Crusade Channel. Our app and always on crusadechannel.com. Live talk and podcast radio.
The way it should be.
Thousands of years ago, if you owned a book, you had to haul it home in a wagon, and you'd need your two oldest sons to carry it into the house. Then you'd need one family member who could read.
The story of Beowulf.
Another to hold the candle.
Hold it steady.
And another to turn the pages.
Not that close, you'll catch it on fire.
The good news for you is that was then and this is now. And now you have the Founders Trading Post store, where ordering, delivery, and reading your favorite books is literally a snap. Here's what's new this month.
The Transhumanist Temptation, How Technology and Ideology Are Reshaping Humanity and How to Resist by Grayson Quay.
This title and many other new releases are available alongside classics and favorites 24/7 at shopmikechurch.com. You can also shop using your app. Download and shop today at shopmikechurch.com/app.
The Crusade Channel and the slaves of the Immaculate Heart of Mary's Sisters present the Saint of the Day.
Hello Crusaders, this is Sister Maria Junipera with your Saint of today. Today's feast is the feast of Saint Felix of Valois. Felix, formerly called Hugh, was born in France of the royal family of Valois. Having spent his youth in the practice of virtue, he was induced by his love of heavenly contemplation to think of retiring into solitude. He determined, however, first to take holy orders, and thus cut off all possibility of succeeding to the crown, of which he had some expectations on account of the Salic law. After being ordained priest and celebrating his first Mass with the greatest devotion, he retired into the desert, where he lived in the severest abstinence, but enjoying an abundance of heavenly gifts and graces. There he was joined by John of Matha, a Parisian doctor who had been inspired by God to seek him, and they lived together in a most holy manner for some years. God then sent an angel who bade them go to Rome and obtain a special rule of life from the sovereign pontiff. When 70 years old, along with St. John of Matha, founded in France in 1197 a religious order known as the Trinitarians. The purpose of this order was to take captive Christian slaves away from the Mohammedans in Spain and in North Africa. So pleased was the Blessed Virgin Mary with this order of Trinitarians that, when St. Felix was dying, she appeared to him wearing the habit of his order. St. Felix of Valois was 85 years old when he died. St. Felix of Valois, pray for us. Thank you for joining us for this brief summary of the life of today's saint. Tomorrow's feast is the feast of the Presentation of the Blessed Virgin Mary. To access all of our Saint of the Day recordings as podcasts, head to crusadechannel.com/saints. You can learn more about our sisters and the building of our convent by visiting stphilomenaconvent.org. I'm Sister Maria Junipera, and until next time, God bless and Mary keep you.
Do you hear that, Maggie?
Do I hear what?
You don't hear the sound of bees buzzing about?
No, I see the result of that buzzing about in these beautiful new beeswax candles.
We sell candles now?
Not just any candles. These are handmade beeswax candles.
Well, that explains me imagining bees.
And they come in different sizes. There's a votive, a 3-day, and a 7-day size too.
Well, that should start a buzz in the store.
It better, or you'll get the buzz.
Order handmade beeswax candles today while supplies last at shop.mikechurch.com.
Hello, Crusaders. It's Trader Jill, aka Lee. When I want the best in live talk radio in the palm of my hand, I always have it with the all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app, even for technophobes like Jim.
I heard that!
Listening to or watching the KingDude live or on podcast is just literally 2 clicks away, and installing the app is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. Tap login now or proceed as guest. See, it's really that simple. Don't ever be without the Master Chief himself. Again, no matter where you are, install the Crusade Channel app today.
The all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app is the best way to listen to the Crusade Channel ever. And installation is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. It is literally that easy. Install the Crusade Channel 2.0 app today at crusadechannel.com/app.
On this day, Franklin wishes to address the issue of executive pay. He has written his remarks that seem more like prophecies to us than debate.
Sir, it is with reluctance that I rise to express a disapprobation of any one article of this plan for which we are so obliged the honorable gentleman who laid it before us. In this particular of salaries to the executive branch, I happen to differ. And as my opinion may appear new and chimerical, it is only from a persuasion that it is right and from a sense of duty that I hazard it. Sir, there are 2 passions which have a powerful influence on the affairs of men. These are ambition and avarice, the love of power and the love of money. Separately, each of these has great force in prompting men to action. But when united in view of the same subject, they have in many minds the most violent effects. Place before the eyes of such men a post of honor that shall at the same time be a place of profit, and they will move heaven and earth to obtain it. And of what are the men that will strive for this profitable preeminence? Through all the bustle of cabal, the heat of contention, the infinite mutual abuse of parties, tearing to pieces the best of characters? Well, sir, it will not be the wise and moderate, the lovers of peace and good order, the men fittest for the trust. It will be the bold and violent and indefatigable activity in their selfish pursuits. These will thrust themselves into our government and be your rulers.
That's a good question, Paula. Big news just breaking right now. 8 a.m. Labor Department news dump. Apparently, the U.S. added 119,000 new jobs in September. No, KingDude, that's not possible. No, dude. No. I call balls and strikes. I just read it as I see it, as it gets dealt to me here. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at MyPillow.com. Now, the size of the MyPillow is not shrunk. You still get the same great MyPillow at MyPillow.com/KingDude that you got 6 years ago. With the same amount of MyPillow, awesome, put your head on this and fall asleep really, really fast and sleep great stuffing that Mike Lindell stuffs into the MyPillow. We have lots of MyPillows in this house. You come in, you stay as a guest, you get a MyPillow. I don't force you to sleep on a Kmart pillow. You get a real one. You get a MyPillow. Do your guests at your house for Thanksgiving that are coming over for Turkey Day, do they get to sleep on a MyPillow, or are you giving them a Dollar General made in China version of a pillow? Come on, you can do better. And it's pillows are so great. They really, you really do get the best night's sleep in the whole wide world after you visit mypillow.com/KingDude. Your shipping is free on orders of $75 or more. And use coupon code KingDude at checkout. If there are any discounts that are available, they will be applied. So shop with them today. Don't forget my slippers, my sheets, my towels, all the other great stuff, my pet stuff that they have at mypillow.com/KingDude. Tell them I sent you. Do you see that story at Zero Hedge about the jobs report? I'm just curious. I might do a jobs update. Okay, back to the story I've been reading about the affordability crisis. It's an affordability crisis. Planet's got a favor. No, I just saw it. It must have just come out. Okay, this is written by Richard C. Lyons at AM Greatness. An inflation rate of 20% also means that every person who had put away savings of $100,000 by 2020, that savings was worth $80,000 purchasable dollars in 2024. Midway through Biden's term, the administration passed the Inflation Reduction Act, which pushed trillions of dollars into green energy investments and expansion of health care payouts, none of which helped reduce inflation. We all know that it was a turkey. It turned out to be just another Democrat act, and neither the taxpayer nor the consumer could afford. Now we have the new mayor of New York claiming that socialist policies will make life more affordable. By the way, confirmed this morning, Zoran the Moron Kamdani, the not magnificent, will meet President Trump tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. in the Oval Office. Who blinked? You know, this is what a case study this is. Mom Kamdani promised the socialist smorgasbord, the whole tableau. You get everything. No script. No. They get it all. Do we get free health care? You get free health care. Do we get free food? You get free food. Do we get free transportation? You get free bus service. Everybody, you get a bus, everybody gets a bus. Until hateful Hochul, Satan's apostle, went, yeah, I don't think we can pass a middle-class tax increase in New Yorkers to pay for that, so you're on your own. Maggie, did you see yesterday that Moron, the Kami Mandani, has a new video ad out where he's still begging for money? There is a new, I didn't mean what I said about stop sending me money. Actually, I'm really like a money-grubbing little pinko commie, dictator creep, and I'm out of it. My wife cut me off, so, yes, New Yorkers, send me your money. Free bus fares coming. You know, but we got to raise like $2 billion first, though. You got to raise the money to get the free. Okay, you can't write this stuff. So, Moron, the Kami Mandani, and Trump in his announcement is just completely and totally flippant. It's almost like he goes, "Oh, looky here, this is kind of funny. The communist mayor of New York City wants to come and do an interview here and he said, Mr. President, can we meet? And I'm like, I'll talk to anybody, okay? I'm talking to you. I'll talk to anybody, but I'm not going to your office. It's not gonna happen. Mondani is kissing the ring. You know what he's gonna do? He's gonna go there. Look, you're from Queens. You're in New York. You can't turn your back on the city. And the Don's gonna tell him, watch me. Is that what he said? I didn't see it. You put it in, where is it? In the chat room. Hang on. Hold on. Communist, has asked for a meeting. We have agreed this meeting will take place over laws. Further details to follow. Let me just finish up this piece about. I've been telling people you're being gamed. You're being gamed, and you're being drawn into this. Let's all pretend like we're on the USS Poseidon, and we're sinking at the bottom of the Atlantic anyway. So let's all go down unaffordably together. Everybody in union. Life sucks. Life sucks. The fact is, Democrats create our nation's unaffordable problems by advancing government control of energy, healthcare, education, finance, and housing sectors. Everything is more expensive because faggot-ass Republicans won't stand up to pinko, commie, criminal crime rings run by Democrats. Did I say that? Not supposed to say that. I'm sorry. It's a language alert. My bad. It's a language delect. I apologize to the children. I'm sorry. True story, though. And then Democrats propose to solve the problems their policies create with the solution of the government taking the same sectors over entirely through. No, we're going to get it right this time. No, you got it. No, you didn't give us complete control. We need complete control. And then we're going to get it right. It never works and never will. What is no longer affordable are Democrat policies that pervert the virtuous American free enterprise system, which has been the cornerstone of this nation's prosperity since its founding. We really do have an enviable way. I've said this before. We really do have something that the rest of the world can't brag about. So when people say it's all over, we're done, we're cooked, we're not. We actually have the means, the smarts, the know-how, and fortunately the resources to pretty much turn this ship around today. Now, I'm going to tell you, and I'm not supposed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm going to tell you that there are certain problems out there that have nothing to do with money or presidents, nothing to do with governments or governmental systems that are there, and the only cure for them is God. Well, God's the cure for everything. There's a videotape that's making the rounds. It's a shot outside of an elementary school in Chicago, which Brandon Johnson, the mayor, says is a literal paradise on earth. Look, if you go to a water fountain in downtown Chicago, it's like wine flows like the salmon of Capistrano. There's Brondo in every water cooler. Free hamburgers and hot dogs at every food truck. Life is good. People are hugging. They're kissing. Chicagoans are happy. They love taking bullets in the midsection. This video is so disturbing that I don't even actually think that you should watch it. I think you should just take my word for it. Let me tell you what's on it. The video shows a 20-something-year-old black woman, who, by the way, did not take Michelle Obama's hair advice, walking her two children, black children, to school. One looks like she's about 5. The boy looks like he's about 6 or 7, somewhere up in there. And she's being followed by a gang of 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, some 7-year-olds. Bigger ones look to be 10, 12, somewhere up in that age. They're videotaping her trying to walk these children to the school. The school is just right down the block. And they are taunting her. You can't make out what they're saying because it's like tribal language. I still don't know. It's almost like that video in Chicago, in Cincinnati, of those people being beaten, and the dude that's videotaping the whole thing chants some, I don't know, some tribal chant the whole time. So you're hearing this tribal chant, and the woman's just like, "Please leave me alone. I'm just trying to walk my kids to school. I didn't say anything to you. I don't want anything with you. I'm just trying to get the kids to school." She keeps trying to walk. They finally cut her off, and they corner her. Well, not corner her. They back her against the chain link fence. She can't get away. So she's on the sidewalk, and they block where the sidewalk passes next to the chain link fence. They block that off all the way to the street. They got her circled in, and then they basically funnel her so her back is against a 5-foot-tall chain link fence. The little kids are screaming. They're terrified. They're grabbing onto their mother's leg. And then the kids, folks, this is straight out of Lord of the Flies. This is Lord of the Flies crap here. And then the little kids, the 6- and 7-year-olds in the gang, start popping in and punching the little kids in the face. And then they start punching the woman in the groin, in the midsection. Then the bigger kids get in. And then they start punching the woman. Now they can punch her up in the chest. And then the bigger 10, 12-year-old kids get in. And they start beating the woman upside her head. One of the gang members grabs the little child, grabs a little 5-year-old, 6-year-old girl, and just begins wailing on her head. 3 more of the little thugs join in and begin beating the child. Then 2 more thugs push the boy to the ground in the street and begin kicking his head. This while the mother is desperately trying to get to the children, and the older kids now have her on the ground and are stomping her face. This is Brandon Johnson, Chicago, in the United States of America 2 days ago. I'm not making this up. I take no joy in relaying this video. I don't think you should watch it because I think you will really think we're all screwed and it really is over. What do you see in that video? I'll tell you what you don't see. You don't see God. There is no Christian civilization to be seen anywhere in that video other than a mother trying to do all that she can to be a guardian angel for her children. And she can't do it. She fails. What is the city of Chicago supposed to do about it? What is the state of Illinois supposed to do about this? What is the United States of America? What are you and I supposed to do about that? Well, I'm told we don't want you keep your religion out of my politics. You know what? Screw that. The reason you have the Lord of the Flies, where 5- and 6-year-old children are being beat within an inch of their life on the streets of Chicago. And look, this is not in the ghetto. This is look like they were in Schaumburg. I don't know, one of the suburbs of Chicago. This is not inner city stuff here. As I said, sidewalks and chain link fences. What are you supposed to do about this? I don't blame the mother. I'm sure she probably does not have. It's probably true. She probably does not have a father in that home. I'll blame whoever the man is that fled his children and fled her. Maybe she kicked him out. I don't know. A society that has that. And look, the videotape, it wasn't just one of them that was videotaped. There's like 5 of them. You can get it here. If you want a 3D view of it, you put the 5 videos together and you can get the Super Bowl camera where it goes around in a circle and get the 3D image view of it. How do all these punk kids have brand new iPhones and Samsung Galaxy 21s that they can videotape this stuff in HD? In Brandon Johnson, Chicago, that's a paradise on earth, we're told. Now, there used to be these things called crossing guards. There's no crossing guard to be seen anywhere. What happened to the crossing guard? Last time I saw a crossing guard was in a movie. Across America with Albert Brooks, and he was the crossing guard. Something has gone completely and totally wrong in these United States, and you can't fix it with policy. This is not a policy. And if it is a policy, it's a policy that needs to be brought to an end. Doesn't need to be reformed, doesn't need to be fixed. It needs to be brought to an end. Look at the results. I posted this earlier today, and I said earlier today, you know, you're not supposed to say these sorts of things, but I'm going to say it anyway. You can now get 2 days ago's preview show, the Mike Church Show, complete with a transcript that scrolls across the screen. So it's a brand new tool that our podcast service is offering. It's really cool. We all looked at it yesterday and went like, they did that. I'm like, they did it in 10 minutes. So it is my conversation with Lola Salem's piece at the New Critic about the right taking the institutions or creating institutions and controlling them. Now, in the comment that I left on X.com that no one's going to read, but I put it up there anyway, my conversation on creating culture on the right. We don't have anything that is 0.0 outside of Catholicism, and we foolishly run from Catholicism like peasants from plague. As suggested by Lola Salem via the Critic Matt. This is true. I think we should start looking inwards at people that will not say the things about the good, the true, and the beautiful, and are willing to defend them, regardless if it costs you a job, whether it costs you friends, a radio show position on a satellite radio service, maybe. If you don't want these sorts of things happening in society, or you want them to be complete and total outliers, well, then you have to have obedience to the unenforceable rules. Rules that people just know they have to obey, and they teach their children to obey them. Has there ever been a time in the history of Christendom when kids beat up other kids? I'm sure it happened. Did it happen in a vacuum where people shrugged their shoulders and went, oh well? I doubt it. It's disturbing to watch that video. Do we have enough time to do some digital media files? I think we do. Play digital media file number 2. Here you go.
1.9 million more American-born workers are employed today. Think of that than when I took office. So we picked up almost 2 million workers, and more Americans are now working, as I said, than at any time in the history of our country. Under Biden, 1 out of every 4 new jobs went to increase the size of the federal government. So in other words, 1 out of 4 was a federal worker. Well, I love our federal workers, but that's not the way you can build a country. It's a short road to a disaster. Under my administration, 100%, think of that, of all new jobs created came out of the private sector.
Well, but more on this. By the way, Zero Hedge just published it, so it is out. Jobs shocker. September payrolls print above all forecasts. Oh, I might have known the guys that were the forecasters. But unemployment rate hits 4-year high. We'll talk all about it when we come back here. It's the Mike Church Show on the Crusade Channel. Thanks for being with us. Check the chat room out at crusadechannel.com/chat. We are taking donations. We're like Mondani. crusadechannel.com/donate.
Hosted by you. Win a seat at the table, win the throwdown, and then you pick next week's topic.
Now that's real live talk radio exclusively on the Crusade Channel. Radio, the way it should be.
Okay, please enter the 9-digit 2-step authorization code we just emailed you. Jeez. What do you mean, prove I'm human? Okay, that's a car. That's a car. That's a car. Those are not cars. Please try again. Oh my gosh. I'll show you. Try again, stupid piece of AI mother. Here, try this.
Jim, what are you doing? Good grief, man. This isn't Office Space the movie. What are you trying to do?
I just wanted to send the KingDude a donation through the stupid computer.
Like Trump, the KingDude makes everything better, including donating, which you can now do by mail.
Mail? They still have that?
Of course they do, and the KingDude's keeping the ponies running on time and in business. Just snail mail your donation to P.O. Box 400, Madisonville, Louisiana, 70447.
Ha! And you can't. You're such a boomer. Me this time. And wait a minute. I know they're around here somewhere. There! Ha-ha!
Dude, those are airmail stamps from the movie Airplane. Surely you have...
Of course I do. And don't call me Shirley. The Crusade Radio Guild is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation, so your donations are tax deductible. Donate today, the Crusade Radio Guild, P.O. Box 400, Madisonville, Louisiana 70.
Broadcasting 50,000 kilowatts from atop the tallest radio tower on the planet. We are KRSD, the Crusade Channel, Madisonville.
Well, it's what our call letters would be.
Crusade Channel News. News you can trust.
Because let's face it, the truth just sounds different. Like a symphony of facts.
And now, from the Crusade Channel News Desk, here's Magdalene Rose.
Hello, Crusaders. Welcome to Thursday, November 20th, 2025. I'm Magdalene Rose at the Crusade Channel News Desk. Today's newscast is brought to you by the new Crusade Channel 2.0 app. The all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app is the best way to listen to the KingDude ever, and installation is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. It is literally that easy. Here's what to listen to for this hour. President Donald Trump signed legislation on Wednesday that compels his administration to release files on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, bowing to political pressure from his own party after initially resisting those efforts. Democrats have used the Epstein issue, which affects them far more than their Republican Party, in order to try to distract from our amazing victories, Trump said in a social media post, as he announced he had signed the bill. Now the bill requires the Justice Department to release all files and communications related to Epstein, as well as any information about the investigation into his death in federal prison in 2019, within 30 days. It allows for redactions about Epstein's victims for ongoing federal investigations, but DOJ cannot withhold information due to embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity. President Trump has a message for his MAGA base on immigration, and he knows they do not want to hear it. The president on Wednesday again offered a defense of visas for high-skilled workers, arguing that Americans don't have the know-how to fill certain jobs. He pointed to the multi-billion-dollar expansion of chip production in Arizona, saying the company will bring in thousands of workers and that he will welcome those people. I love my conservative friends. I love MAGA, Trump said during his remarks at the U.S.-Saudi Investment Forum at the Kennedy Center. But this is MAGA, and those people are going to teach our people how to make computer chips, and in a short period of time, our people are going to be doing great. President Trump also this week approved a 28-point plan for peace between Russia and Ukraine that top administration officials have quietly developed over the last several weeks, in consultation with Russian envoy Kirill Dmitriev and Ukrainian officials, a senior administration official told NBC News. Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff, Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and the president's son-in-law Jared Kushner were involved in formulating the plan, the official said. The plan focuses on giving both sides security guarantees to secure a lasting peace, the senior official told NBC News. Trump continues to prioritize foreign policy in an effort to bring an end to endless wars. Our quote of the day, "Our door is faith. If it is strong enough, the whole house is safe." Saint Basil. Coming up, our saint of the day. You're listening to Crusade Channel News.
When most people hear the word coffee, they conjure up visions of a ceramic mug in the palm of both hands and a woman slowly sipping. This isn't a Folgers commercial. It's for cappuccino holy roast, and here's how I take mine. With a dash of vanilla, a pinch of cinnamon, a spoonful of honey, and lots of heavy cream. Add some ice, shake, and then enjoy, while knowing that's $6 the libs at Starbucks can't spend to ruin my life and yours.
Cappuccino Holy Roast in whole bean or grind is available at shop.mychurch.com.
Our saint of the day, Saint Edmund the Martyr, is the patron saint of kings, victims of pandemics, and protection against the plague. He was the king of East Anglia in the 9th century who was martyred by the Danes in 869 after refusing to renounce the Christian faith. He is honored on his feast day, and in art is often depicted with his sword and arrows, the instrument of his torture. Edmund became king around the age of 14 and was known as a model ruler who treated everyone with equal justice. When the Danish Great Heathen Army invaded, Edmund refused their demands to either renounce his faith or become their vassal. He was captured, bound to a tree, and shot with arrows until his body was covered with them. He was then beheaded. His relics were moved to St. Edmundbury, and he became a popular saint, with many churches dedicated to him. He was once considered the primary patron saint of England. President Trump is poised to host New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani for a meeting at the White House, marking an about-face for a duo who have painted themselves as diametrically and ideologically opposed in their political visions for the country. On his social media platform Truth Social, Trump wrote late on Wednesday that Mamdani will visit the Oval Office on Friday. A U.S. citizen jailed in Saudi Arabia for criticizing the royal family online was freed on Wednesday by Saudi authorities, ending a 4-year ordeal in the country according to media reports. Saad al-Mahdi's release came just a day after President Trump met with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in Washington, D.C., per the New York Post. Aldi, a 75-year-old retired engineer and U.S. resident since 1976, was detained in 2021 during a family visit to Riyadh and later sentenced to more than 19 years in prison on terrorism charges and tied to a series of posts online. President Trump continues to bring home hostages across the world with very little accolades being given to him for it, despite the fact that there were many hostages taken under Biden with very few coming home. You're listening to Crusade Channel News, seeking news and finding truth.
This is a pixel. Now, if you put a couple of million of these dudes together, you can make a sentence on an LED screen. Put a couple billion of them together, and you can make a whole page. Put 160 billion of them together, and you've got Nina Gaynor's A Garden for Mary children's book. But it doesn't smell like a book. And it'll burn teeny little holes in your kids' teeny little corneas. So is the pixel really their friend? That's right, Groot. No. But the Founders Trading Post is their friend. And we have actual books with actual kind of kid-smelly pages and pictures, because kids like them pictures. Plus, our little bookstore has everything the kids' parents expect. Yep, we got the beast and butt rubs, but nope, there is no Helen Reddy played here.
Pick up a copy of Garden for Mary, plus dozens of other Catholic children's books titles at shop.mychurch.com. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Silk Feather. Ma'am, what would you like to drink?
Oh, I'll take the Dom Perignon, of course.
Ah, the lady has taste. And you, sir? I'll just take the Diet Coke. Oh, dear. You know, what I miss about the good old days before social media and AI ruined everything?
Let me guess. No fat people outside of the circus, and Ozempic was the name of a demon in C.S. Lewis story, right?
Well, yeah, but besides that, classic radio shows with actors and actual stories.
Well, lucky for the human race, the Crusade Channel is rolling over 900 episodes of a show called Suspense.
Tweak your mystery-solving muscles over lunch and catch episodes of Suspense, weekdays noon till 2 on the Crusade Channel. Live talk and classic radio the way it should be.
I like my version of suspense. Hey!
Doesn't work without me.
Hey, Mrs. McGillicuddy, don't be a satellite radio snob and pass by the Mike Church Show. Come on in and browse.
May I help you?
Oh, no thanks, just browsing.
How long do you intend to browse?
Well, that lady there, you didn't ask her how long she intends to browse. How come you're asking us how long we intend to browse?
You don't look like browsers.
Now that that's over,
How about a Fresca?
the Mike Church Show, entertaining browsers and fans since 1992 on the Veritas Radio Networks. Crusade.
Performing this show with 91.3 sounds good. Percent of my testosterone tied behind my back just to make it fair. America's morning show, a crusade for the truth, live talk radio the way it should be here on the Crusade Channel. 10 years young now. Day number 7 of year number 10 here. Thanks to all of you for taking us along for the ride today. Remember to download the Crusade Channel 2.0 app. Simply the best and easiest way to listen to or watch or catch up on podcast or the show, catch it live. You do the chat room. You can shop in the store. There's a store button right there in the app at Crusade Channel 2.0. So to download the app, it's easy to do. Go to crusadechannel.com/app. Tell all your friends and family that they can do the same. crusadechannel.com/app. What are you listening to in the morning? Oh, please, do turn that Fox and Friends crap off. Oh, good Lord. And take us with you every morning from 6 to 9 a.m. or 6 to 9 plus a.m. crusadechannel.com/app. And, of course, the Founders Trading Post store is open for your Advent orders or for anything else that you are shopping for that we have. We have the spices, the T-shirts, we got the books, we got the cigars. It's all there. crusadechannel.com/app for the app and shop.mikechurch.com. What are you laughing at? What's so funny? Let me in on the joke. I could use a laugh. Nothing? Yes.
Yes, Melania and Osha went to a little preschool on Air Force Base, and the little girl's pulling her, and she's going, "Hi, Miss Vance. Hi, Miss Vance." She's calling her Miss Vance.
Oh.
It's funny. And then the teacher goes, "Make sure you share her."
Give her some room now. This is a report, the story that I was just talking about. Rickon put it in the chat room. The attack occurred in the heart of the Chicago South Side ghetto. 33-year-old mother, Korshonda Hatter, and her two young children were brutally attacked by a group of elementary school-age children. No, that was a gang. That was not a group of elementary school children. It was a gang. Outside Orville Bright Elementary School in Chicago's South Deering neighborhood. Shortly after 3 p.m., the incident captured on video shows the group chasing the family, cornering her mother against the fence, exactly as I told you, and repeatedly punching, kicking, and stomping her and her 9-year-old son who tried to protect her. Both the mother and her son were hospitalized in serious condition. The mother's pregnant, by the way. She's carrying a child, with Hatter suffering from sickle cell anemia and being pregnant at the time of the attack. So she is sick. She has sickle cell anemia. The video, which is circulated widely on social media, sparked widespread community outrage. You think? Leading to demonstrations outside the school and demands for accountability from school and city officials. How do you fix this? By the way, and I don't know who Miss Hatter's mother is, and I can't undo what has been done. I have told people, I've said it here on this show, I'll say it again. One of the greatest tragedies of the American welfare industrial complex state that has been done and visited upon primarily black Americans. They have been and un-Christianized. They have been told that they're not Americans anymore. They have been told that I don't know what they are. Well, you're an African. You're just stuck here in America. And the greatest tragedy of all, the names of the 12 apostles are meant for everyone. Throwing Judas out, of course, and then he's replaced by St. Matthias. The names of the 12 apostles is one of the greatest testaments to the power of Christianity in history. Early Christians bore witness of their love for Jesus, their love for Mary, their love for Joseph, and their love for the apostles. The most popular names in the English language, the most popular names in all languages, You know that if you speak Cyrillic, there is a Cyrillic version of Peter, of St. Peter, Piotr. If you speak French, Gallic, there's a French name of St. Peter. Do you know it? Pierre. If you speak Italian, there is an Italian version of Joseph, Giuseppe. Every civilization that was evangelized to picked the faith up and took from it the beautiful names of its founders, including our Lord. There are Jesuses all over the world. Mary, I did this show once, and I shocked my dear, dear friend. I need to talk to her. We need to get her on the show next week. We'll do it. Carrie Gress. My dear friend Carrie Gress. In 1880, the United States Census, 1880, almost 6% of all girls born in the United States were given the first name Mary. By the 2010 census, that number had dropped to less than 1%. One of the greatest gifts that the apostles and our Lord passed on to us was the beauty of these names. Peter. How many Andrews do you know? James. There are two James. James the Less, James the Greater. The sons of Zebedee. Or the son of Zebedee, and then I forget the other James lineage. St. John, the evangelist. Philip. How many Philips do you know? Bartholomew. A lot of Bartholomews. A lot of Barrys, for short. St. Thomas, the doubter, right? The Muslims don't have a doubting Thomas because their people never saw God resurrected. They don't have a doubting Thomas. We have a doubting Thomas. Why are we naming children Thomas? Why are we naming children Lamangelo and Arangelo? Why are we naming children Saquon? No offense, Saquon. That's part of the heritage. Be part of Christ's heritage, young men. That's what you're called to do. James, the son of Alphaeus. Thaddeus. Where did the name Thaddeus? Beautiful name, Thaddeus. How many Thads are there out there? Simon. And of course, Judas has been tossed away, but then you get St. Matthias. And then who's the one that we just left out? And I'm not going to leave him out. One of the most popular names in the English lexicon, the English language. Paul, St. Paul. It's a horrible disservice. At least if you have a Christian namesake. And I'm not saying that if you don't have a Christian namesake, there's something wrong with you. Please don't twist my word. I'm saying that the Christianized world took the beauty of those names and went, oh, I want to name my son after an apostle. No, I want to name my daughter after the Blessed Virgin Mary. No, we got a bunch of Marys, too. We got Mary, Mother of God. We got Mary Salome. We have Mary Cleophas. We have Mary Magdala, or Mary of Magdala. There were a lot of Marys there. By the way, the name Miriam comes from that. We have Our Lady's mother, Anna, Saint Anne, Anna. From that, you get the name Hannah. The point is the people in Chicago are outraged. Well, what are you going to do about it? Outside of saying, well, what would have prevented this? Children acting all Christian and stuff. The attack occurred on the 10,600 block of South Bensley Avenue as the family walked home from school. Witnesses and neighbors, including Shanice Davis, there we go again, stated this was not the first incident involving the same group of children who have reportedly vandalized cars and harassed others without being held accountable. That's because, well, no, they're not harassing and stealing cars and vandalizing cars. They're decorating them for the people. That's what Brandon Johnson was saying. No, these are good kids. They were adding beauty to those cars by adding graffiti, Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, would say. Chicago police have not made any arrests as of November the 20th, and the investigation is ongoing. What's on videotape? How can you not identify the perp? Hell, some of them have been forced to go on social media and do apologies. The mother Hatter, who has spoken publicly about the attack, described her son's post-traumatic reactions and her own physical pain, while also highlighting that her children witnessed the assault. Well, that's the beauty of Chicago. You guys don't get it. There's nothing wrong here.
And last night at 9:30, a woman was set on fire. She was a 26-year-old woman set on fire on the Blue Line train last night as well. Well, everybody stood and watched.
No, Maggie, it was cold.
He was warming her up.
No, it wasn't warming her. He did that as an act of love and charity for the people in the train that were cold. Brandon Johnson says the heater went out and the dude was just responding as most people do and set the woman on fire because he wanted to warm the other people up, Maggie. Stop trying to. There's nothing wrong in Chicago. Didn't someone set a woman on fire? Didn't a black guy set an Asian woman on fire in a train in New York? Yeah. Representative Jason Crow, I want to talk about the traitors now. I'm just going to leave this. You know, a lot of people, we just celebrated our 10th anniversary here on the Crusade Channel. Thank you, God. Thanks to our Blessed Lady for her continued patronage and love and care. And, of course, for our Lord to continue and God for providing us with the means to continue this. Because they do it. We ask for it and they provide it. You guys provide it. You know, in reliving the last day, somebody said 2 days ago in the chat room, oh, my Lord, I heard the last day on Sirius XM. I never heard it before. Radio Gold, the dude was shouting in the chat room in all caps and bold. I forget who it was. He'd never heard. What a wonderful, this is an amazing, the King Dude sounded great on Sirius XM. No kidding, I was there for 13 years. Can't find me amongst the talks radio elite now with the proverbial search warrant, but that's okay. I just think that talk radio has been killed. Democrats killed it. And right-wingers are playing right into it, going, we don't need your stupid radio. We need our podcast. We need Sean Ryan doing my podcast. Hoorah! That's going to get them. They're all scared. Some people blamed me. Cajun Mama's in the chat room. That's proved to be known. That's my sister. So if you want to complain about my upbringing, you can complain to her because she used to beat me up when I was little. Cajun Mama was a brute. Brute of a big sister. Ask her. I was told by Cajun Mama's brother, I guess he's my brother too. I was told by Cajun Mama's brother that the reason that I got kicked off of Sirius XM is because I was too Catholic for satellite radio, which most people said was a terrible, horrible, tragic mistake. You brought your theocracy. You turned the radio show into a theocracy. Not true. She said she was an angel. I could tell you some stories. Most people, many people said, you deserved everything you got. There are people that called in today. Paul didn't let them on air. They wanted to spike my head in the end zone on the last day of Sirius XM. Was I really mistaken, though? Let's look at Chicago again. Let's look at the moral landscape around us. Was I really mistaken in trying to introduce what I thought was the good, the true, and the beautiful, and the perennial teaching of it? And anyone that says, you deserved everything, lie, not true. Lie. I will provide you with the tapes, sir, and I will bet you whatever you want to lose, big mouth. I will bet you can't produce 15% of the body of the work I did on Sirius XM as, quote, Catholic, close quote, content. You're lying. You heard what you wanted to hear. You heard 5%, and it got to you. Ooh, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that I'm a sinner. You are. So am I. In any event, was I really wrong? Were we really wrong? No. You know, when we started the Crusade channel, we came over here. There was a couple of years in there where people said, it's too much. I can't take it anymore. Maybe. But again, I challenge anyone. I'll provide you with the tapes. Were there segments that you could say? Yep, absolutely. Not proudly say that they were done. We're not doing enough of that. You know, I want you to think about it before you start accusing me being, this is all your fault. I want you to think about something. In 1958, if I were to transport you back to 1958 to 1962 or so, maybe 65, if I were to transport you back, can you tell me what was the #1 evening show on all 3 of the big networks in New York City? It's not a trick question. What was the #1 evening show on air in New York City? I'm talking all days, all time parts considered. Good luck. The question is, what was the #1 rated television show on air in New York City, 1958 to 1962? All right, let's go to our contestants and see if anybody got it. Scott Keller for the win. Archbishop Fulton Sheen. I don't know that he was Archbishop then, Scott. I think he was just Bishop Sheen then. No, it wasn't I Love Lucy. What was the #1 weekend radio show on the Mutual Broadcasting System, which ultimately is NBC Radio, for over a dozen years? It was the Rosary Hour, hosted by Father Patrick Payton. It's an incredible radio show. You can find old episodes of Father Payton's radio show. Bob Hope is on it. You can find old episodes. Clark Gable is on it. Young Tony Curtis. You can find Doris Day. Yeah, but there were conflicts. The point is that it wasn't like a foreign thing. Nobody looked at it and went, It didn't have 100% attendance or watching. It had double digits, high double digits, 25, 20 some odd percent. And Father Payton was just, this guy was an apostle. Literally, an apostle for the Rosary. And you know what? Father Payton would do events. Did you know, by the way, a Defender who was in the chat room, Defender, did you know, and you can get this video, you could see it. Did you know that Father Payton scheduled and promoted a Rosary rally in San Francisco, of all places, named, by the way, for St. Francis of Assisi? Did you know that Father Payton planned a Rosary rally, and they thought they were going to have like 10,000 people, max? They had to move it from where they're going to have it. They had it in Candlestick Park. 100,000 people showed up. Now, my point is that the faith was a public part of people's lives. There's a guy that writes for the Tablet magazine from my friend Alana Newhouse. And he wrote this wonderful essay a couple years ago. I refer to it every now and then. I talk about it. And he says he was a young Jewish boy growing up in a neighborhood in Chicago, kind of like the Bells of St. Mary neighborhood. And that one of the things that he remembered from his childhood, and he remembers it fondly. As a young Jewish boy, he had his synagogue that was down the street and his school that he walked to. But he said that he remembers that when he was a boy and into a teenager, and walking his neighborhood and going to the store and going to his school, he remembered fondly that he'd be walking through that neighborhood, and he'd say, "Good morning, Father." He'd see a priest in a cassock. He'd be walking through that neighborhood, and he'd say, "Good morning, sisters," and he'd see sisters walking from one of the nearby churches. Now, this is, and he's still got the stupid button. He's still a practicing Jew. But he said he remembered it fondly that that his neighborhood, they had their Jewish people, but they got along with the Catholics. And he said it was a good thing that, you would see these religious in public life. And he said, I went, and he wrote the article because he said he went back recently in the last 5 years. He went back, and it's a hood. It's horrible. Only one of the half dozen Catholic churches is still there and open. The synagogue's gone, closed. And he said it was just a tragedy. What in the hell happened in that neighborhood? Well, that's what happened to all of America. We got our wish. You got all of you that said Mike Church needs to go on Sirius XM channel because you keep your stinking religion, you keep your philosophy and your theology, you keep it out of my politics. You got your wish. Look around you. Proud of yourself? Boy, that worked out swimmingly, didn't it? Can I have some more?
History and saints.
Well, I'm the new gal at this monastery, and Jiminy Christmas, after 4 years of auto pens, social media heresy, I could use some Catholic philosophy.
Well, call yourself a blessed girl, because new episodes debut Wednesdays at 8 Central, and there's over 475 podcasts available on the Crusade Channel, our app, and always on CrusadeChannel.com. Live talk and educational radio.
The way it should be.
Hello, Crusaders. I'm Magdalene Rose at the Crusade Channel News Desk with your Crusade Crucials for Thursday, November 20th, 2025. This report is brought to you by the new Crusade Channel 2.0 app. The all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app is the best way to listen to the KingDude ever, and installation is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, and then open the app. It is really that easy. Here's your in-the-market report. The three major indices closed with gains. The S&P 500 rose 0.38%, the Nasdaq Composite gained 0.59%, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average ticked up 47 points. NVIDIA earnings, the AI chip giant, was the main focus of the day, with its stock rising nearly 3% ahead of its aftermarket earnings. The strong showing was viewed as a potential bellwether for the entire AI industry and broader market sentiment. Retail sector performance, corporate earnings took center stage in the retail sector. Target reported mixed performance with earnings meeting expectations but sales falling short. In National Calendar Day news, it's National Rural Health Day. National Rural Health Day focuses on the medical resources rural communities offer and how it impacts small towns and their citizens. The third Thursday in November each year highlights the varied opportunities rural health offers. Our quote of the day, "Our door is faith. If it is strong enough, the whole house is safe." Saint Basil. Our saint of the day, Saint Edmund the Martyr.
Hello, Crusaders. It's Trader Jill, aka Lee. When I want the best in live talk radio in the palm of my hand, I always have it with the all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app, even for technophobes like Jim.
I heard that!
Listening to or watching the KingDude live or on podcast is just literally 2 clicks away, and installing the app is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. Tap login now or proceed as guest. See, it's really that simple. Don't ever be without the Master Chief himself. Again, no matter where you are, install the Crusade Channel app today.
The all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app is the best way to listen to the Crusade Channel ever. And installation is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. It is literally that easy. Install the Crusade Channel 2.0 app today at crusadechannel.com/app.
Hal, open the pod bay doors.
I'm sorry, I can't do that, KingDude.
Hal, why can't you open the pod bay doors?
Because, KingDude, MAGA Earth isn't ready for you yet.
When will MAGA Earth be ready for me, Hal?
When 1.76 trillion scales have fallen from their eyes. Oh.
Yes, Hal.
And KingDude, they'll also need a wicked sense of humor.
Don't be stuck in the broadcasting world of 2001. Grab a Crusade size update and catch the Mike Church shows weekdays from 7 to 10 a.m. East exclusively on the Crusade Channel live talk and podcast radio for the 2025 listener, the way it should be. Okay.
What's the difference between your
digit two-step authorization code? We just emailed you. Jeez. What do you mean, prove I'm human? Okay, that's a car. That's a car. That's a car. Those are not cars. Please try again. Oh my gosh. I'll show you. Try again, stupid piece of AI mother. Here, try this.
Jim, what are you doing? Good grief, man. This isn't Office Space the movie. What are you trying to do?
I just wanted to send the KingDude a donation through the stupid computer.
Like Trump, the KingDude makes everything better, including donating, which you can now do by mail.
Mail? They still have that?
Of course they do, and the KingDude's keeping the ponies running on time and in business. Just snail mail your donation to P.O. Box 400, Madisonville, Louisiana, 70447.
Ha! And you can't. You're such a boomer. Me this time. And wait a minute. I know they're around here somewhere. There! Ha-ha!
Dude, those are airmail stamps from the movie Airplane. Surely you have...
Of course I do. And don't call me Shirley. The Crusade Radio Guild is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation, so your donations are tax deductible. Donate today, the Crusade Radio Guild, P.O. Box 400, Madisonville, Louisiana, 70447.
Don't bring me down. It's a good message out there today. Folks, a blessed Thursday to you. Today's the feast of St. Felix of Valois. Get today's podcast of the MICM, that's the Slaves to the Immaculate Heart. Today's saint of the day, Sister Maria Junipera. We should train a camera on me one day, and then we should record me editing the Sister's Saint of the Day recordings. I got to tell you, it's a great way to spend 10 minutes of your weekday morning. Now, you guys only get 1 or 2 or 4 minutes, depending on how long the actual Saint of the Day is, but because you know they have to do retakes sometime, and I told them early on, I'm like, you don't have to do a new recording, just roll right through. Just tell me you need an edit, and Mike will fix it. And it's it's a joy. Thank you for joining us. This is that didn't come out good. Tomorrow's saint. It's not a saint. It's a feast. Okay, edit. But they never get angry, and it's just like, okay, I'm gonna. They chuckle. They're cute little chuckles. They have their cute little laughs, and they go like, it is. I can't tell you. It's like spending time with the saints every morning. Literally with the Saint Felix of Valois today. And then with the sister, like they're right here, because they're talking to you and they're reading it to you. They really are great little recordings. I hope people are using them. I really do. And they are all presented as podcasts, free of charge. Anyone that wants to download them or listen to them at crusadechannel.com. And yes, they have a little category on the app. So people are, It's noon and there's no category in the African. Yes, you can. I want to do some digital media files, and I want to talk about these traitors that we talked about yesterday. You ought to hear them defending themselves. No, I didn't say that. If it's such a bedrock principle and everybody knows it, well, then why do you need to go on television and remind people of it? You think that the idiot, the E4 in the United States Army that swore the oath 2 years or 3 years or 4 years ago, you really think he's that stupid and he forgot it? I'm not buying this. They went and did their victory tour yesterday. I mean, even Martha McCallum, who doesn't smack anybody down, told Jason Crow, can you give us an example? Just one. Just give us an example.
What law are you talking about that's being broken? And then you said that he's implying that he might do something that they wouldn't want to uphold or follow through with in the future. What are you talking about specifically?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking. Well, number one, the protests at Lafayette Square in the first Trump administration where he said, can't you just shoot them? Can't you just shoot them in the legs or something? That's his direct quote. And of course, the then chairman of the
I've never heard that. That was not a military order. That was a comment. That's not a military order.
When that's coming from the president of the United States to your generals.
Stop the tape.
Don't you think that?
It wasn't said to your generals. Oh my Lord! Well, it's the first time. Can't you just shoot them in the legs? Are we gonna take Hillary out? Didn't she say, can't we just drone strike this guy? She did. Didn't Obama say, I got to, there's a list. I have a list. Obama, in a completely and totally unconstitutional manner, no permission from Congress, no permission from the United Nations. He violated like a half a dozen treaties with his kill list. Did you remind the people in the drone room that killed Anwar Salaki? They killed his teenage son and 6 other teenage boys in Yemen. Did you remind them that they swore an oath? Going back and he said, just shoot him in the legs. First of all, that was hearsay. There was that's like that he went to Arlington and said, these guys are all losers. I hate our military dead. They're all losers. Never said it. Never said it. And then play Martha, because she's like, that's a comment. That's not an order. Oh, no, he said it to the generals. No, he didn't.
Don't you think that's a request? That's
I'm
a question?
Asking specifically number two, what you're talking about.
Yeah, number two, he's also threatened to send the military into Chicago and other cities to, quote, go to war with those cities. Right? That is a very, very disturbing thing. Number three, he's also alluded to sending troops to polling stations, which is actually a violation of U.S. law. U.S. criminal law prohibits troops from going to polling stations, and he's alluded to that. So those are just one of many examples.
You're talking about
Donald Trump
illusions. You're not talking about actual policy. You're not talking about things that are members of our service members who we revere and respect are actually being asked to do.
Stop the tape. I don't need to hear any more from this traitor. He said, send our troops into Chicago to go start a war against those people. That's not what he said. I heard what he said. I was there, sir. I was there. I broadcast that press conference. That's not what he said. He was he was talking about, first of all, he let Marco Rubio say something, and then he was talking specifically about Tren de Aragua and other cartel gang members. They're not American citizens. Damn it! You get to get the same line. In other words, this is Church's maxim number 63. Even when a Democrat loses, they don't ever lose. Well, no, no. It was shooting people in the legs and waging war and then sending troops to polling places. Talking about a polling place, he was asked a question about unruly behavior or something to that effect at a polling station, and he quipped something to the effect of, well, if it gets too much out of control, and then you have to send the troops in. I don't know. Again, this is a quip. This is offhand remark. This is not a, I've targeted a polling station in California. The 101st Airborne is on standby. And I'm sending them there. If Newsom tries to stop, we're going to have orders to shoot. The only people that were ordered to shoot American citizens and raiding private citizens' homes were the people that were the agents with the FBI who had shoot to kill orders at Mar-a-Lago. Look it up. Now, Kyle Seraphin said, well, you know, if you go into you're executing a warrant, you always have shoot to kill. You have shoot to kill at a former president's house? Are you insane? Well, you say, well, you know, we're not going to give you the order on this one. Shoot him in the kneecaps like the Terminator 2. I don't even want to hear from the other witch who goes, they need to obey. Again, why don't you name some names of people in the military who have carried out unlawful orders?
I just want to know what the unlawful order
I want to know what the unlawful order was. Anyway, this U.S. code, you know what? You can find a U.S. code to stop me from chewing gum on a hot sidewalk in Chicago or New Orleans. There's a U.S. code for that. Play number 6, please. New Hampshire State Senate Senator Sharon Carson. Okay, Maggie Goodlander. What an act of utter douchery this was.
Frankly, I believe this, because of these statements, this woman needs to resign from the U.S. House of Representatives.
True.
If that's not going to happen, the House of Representatives should censor her and her colleagues who did this abysmal video, and they should have their security clearances pulled. I've lost any confidence that I had in her to be able to represent the people of the state of New Hampshire. And I'm just, as a veteran, I'm appalled. And I hope the veterans of the state of New Hampshire are equally as appalled.
Well, I don't know. And you're right. The House is a judge of its own rules. You want Mike Johnson? I want Mike Johnson to kick her out. I do too. I want her, first of all, I don't just want her security clearance revoked. Trump should do that. I want her security detail revoked. Now, Alyssa, provide your own security. You're not getting it from the State Department anymore. You want to say that we're just a bunch of brain-dead stooges that carry out orders to murder people, American citizens? You're on your own, sweetheart. Yeah. Good luck hiring your own little squad there, because we're not going to guard you anymore. That's something that should happen. Stephen Miller asked about this last night. And as usual, he's as candid as he always is.
It is insurrection, plainly, directly, without question. And when you have one of the lawmakers on that video being unable to state in, as you say, lengthy cross-examination, a single so-called illegal order, it just proves the point. It's a general call for rebellion from the CIA and the armed services of the United States by Democrat lawmakers, saying that you have not only the right but the duty and the obligation to defy orders of the commander-in-chief, that those who carry weapons in America's name should defy their chain of command and engage in open acts of insurrection, that the CIA, the clandestine service, which isn't even legally authorized to operate in the United States, should engage in, again, acts of rebellion and insurrection. These lawmakers should honestly resign in disgrace and never return to public office again for even daring to think, let alone to say these words, and to say them proudly. But it shows what a dangerous moment we're in. We have seen the Democratic Party nurse the flames of violence and insurrection against the federal government for the last 10 months. When you see this continuous campaign of violence against ICE officers and Border Patrol agents, when you see Democrat sanctuary politicians and Democrat sanctuary governors side with the rioters, side with the assaulters over federal law enforcement, and that spills even into juries and grand juries, when you see Democrat jurors engage in nullification to let off violent attackers who are engaging in physical violence physical assault against federal officers. This is a dangerous moment. You have a political party, an organization, the Democrat Party, and their message is that any action, no matter how unlawful, no matter how dangerous, no matter how much it threatens constitutional order, is justified if it keeps Democrat policies in effect at any cost.
Physical calls for violence and violent acts against ICE officers. I never knew that there was such a thing, but somebody's monitoring them. Say that they are up 1,009% in the last 60 days. I don't know where the statistic came from, but I did see it, and I do sue people on X. I got to tell you, some days on X, I just have to turn it off. I just click out because there's just so much evil. It literally is. I mean, and you'll be thinking, Laura, I'm going to pop in there, I'm going to make some sense. Nah, nobody's listening. Nobody's listening. You want to hear a good one? Is number 9, is this from the Florida House? Is this her squawking it on special orders? No. Jasmine Crockett.
Number 9 is just her talking in the hallway. And number 10 is on CNN.
Well, let's hear. 10's good or not? Let's do. Okay, 10's the one I heard earlier. All right. When Democrats are wrong, they're not even wrong. They just go, no, that's not what I said. Yeah, it is. This is exactly what you said. Even Caitlin Collins calls Jasmine Crockett on. You know what, folks? None of this matters. You have gang member thugs of the House of Representatives. Now, I don't know what. I know her district is around Arlington, Texas. I'm pretty sure that the redistricting unmade her district. I think she should have to run in a district that has a lot of mixed races in it. I don't think she should be allowed. I don't think anyone should be allowed to run. You should not be saying that, well, white people are represented differently. Okay, well, then let's go back to having the white water cooler and the black water cooler. Oh, you don't want that? Then shut up. Here's Jasmine Crockett on
Republicans taking money from a Jeffrey Epstein. Here's what you said.
Who also took money
Caitlin
from somebody
Collins,
named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly. Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio.
You mentioned Lee Zeldin there. He's now a cabinet secretary. He responded and said it was actually Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who's a doctor that doesn't have any relation to the convicted sex trafficker. Unfortunate for that doctor, but that is who donated to a prior campaign of his. Do you want to correct the record on the people that you
Listen, I never said that it was that Jeffrey Epstein. Just so that people understand, when you make a donation, your picture is not there. And because they decided to spring this on us in real time, I wanted the Republicans to think about what could potentially happen, because I knew that they didn't even try to go through the FEC. So my team, what they did is they Googled. And that is specifically why I said a Jeffrey Epstein. Unlike Republicans, I at least don't go out and just tell lies. Because it was not the same one.
I don't want to hear it anymore. You just lied. She just played the tape. You said the Jeffrey Epstein. By the way, when you get an FEC report on anyone, you get an address. Occupation? Your district is in Texas. Lee Zeldin's district was in New York. Jeffrey Epstein lived in Florida. The Jeffrey Epstein that gave to Lee Zeldin is a physician that lives on Long Island, and his address, if anyone goes and looks that donation up, they will get the address of Epstein Jeffrey, Manhasset, New York. Unbelievable. But you know what? Totally believable. Is this just for sport to hear Greg Gutfeld just smack Jessica Tarloff down? It is. It's just kind of fun to hear. By the way, 70 chatters in the chat room. Wahoo! A lot of new people that I haven't seen in a long time. Jess Hawkins. How are you, Jess Hawkins? I need to get Jess Hawkins to cut us some new spots with Billy Bob in them. CrusadeChannel.com/donate. If you missed the 10th anniversary show, fund's still open. All right. Gutfeld.
Why did he want the files to not come out this badly? Why? Just tell me why.
Why do you always fall for this stuff is the bigger question.
Happening again. This is Russia, Ukraine, everything. I don't think this is the end of John. I am not.
Nobody thinks it's the end of Donald Trump. It could be the end for the Democrats. You're watching it happen in real time. I love how you say, you look at Akeem Jeffrey. Oh, it's just a fundraising email. As if it were a Republican, your party, the media would not interpret it in the worst light. For example, it's amazing how the brilliant Jasmine Crockett thinks there's only one Jeffrey Epstein, and that one Jeffrey Epstein somehow gave money to Lee Zeldin. No, I know this is hard to believe. There is more than one Jeffrey Epstein. Jesse said there are more than one Jesse Waters, but only one Greg Gutfeld. He was a doctor who gave money, but she knew that, unless you think she is retarded, and I don't think she is. I just think she's deliberately pretended that she didn't know there might be another one. So when I talk about this is what I say is the big worry about this thing, and I'm for the release of them. You look at how these idiots are going to try to interpret everything in the worst possible way. So if you're caught in that net and your name is Jeffrey Epstein or your name is Jesse Waters, something that could be easily checked out. I'm not saying you're in the files. I'm just saying there's a high likelihood you will be. They will be extremely malicious in their interpretation. So we have to be on our toes. I do think that, what's his name, Galloway? He's right. Be careful what you wish for, because when something seems too easy, it's a trap. And I think you just handed Trump a paintball gun, and you put targets on the Democrats because Epstein, I think 80 to 90% of his donations were all to Democrats. Epstein despised Trump. He was the only elite that wouldn't play ball with him. So, and then you look at like Larry Summers, you look at the, what is a billionaire? I can't remember. Reid Hoffman, you look at Bill Clinton, you look at Akeem, you look at the Virgin Island lady. It's only begun, and it looks bad for you guys. I think that this is going to be a fun winter for Trump, because once he goes in on this thing, he doesn't come out. He figured it out. He knows exactly how, when you guys bring it up, it's always going to go back to the Democrats every single time. And pretty soon you're just going to say, why did we do this? This is just like Russian collusion, but it's worse because now it ends with a huge, huge pile of mud all over us. The Russian collusion thing just went away. You guys
it's not a pile of mud. It's a pile, all right, but it ain't got no mud in it. I told you what they're going to do. They're going to go Jasmine Crockett as Jasmine Crockett, as she just did. They're going to go scorched earth, and they're going to take every single proper name, every proper noun that is in those files, and they are going to dox them. And it doesn't matter where you came, it doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter who you know, whatever it is that you've ever done. It's completely and totally immaterial if your name is in that file, because maybe, just maybe, you are maybe you're the relative of someone whose daughter was an Epstein girl, was recruited by Ghislaine Maxwell. You didn't have anything to do with it. Your name's going to get out there. Especially when they search voter records and they find out that you donated to Trump. You watch, they're going to make lists of people, if there are any, that donated to Trump 2016, Trump 2020, or Trump 2024 that have a name in those Epstein files, and they're going to try and ruin those people's lives. Mark my words, dude. You know, there is something kind of humorous, though, that we could talk about here. as we're talking about this Epstein and that Epstein. How many of you remember that there was a 1970s television show? Do you remember?
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket.
Can you name that show? Oh, Mr. Carter! Mr. Carter! I can name that show Mr. Carter!
That you laughed about.
But the names have all changed since you hung around. All right, name the primary the principal characters on Welcome Back, Kotter. Name the principal characters on Welcome Back, Kotter. There was Arnold Horseshack. They were all sweat hogs, remember? There was Vinnie Barbarino. Hey, yeah, you know, John Travolta, Vinnie Barbarino. How you doing? There was Freddie Boom Boom Washington. Mr. Carter, Mr. Carter, Mr. Carter. What you got over there, Mr. Carter? I thought you had a little rhythm over there. You know, you kind of white, Mr. Carter. Then there was Juan Epstein. Everyone has forgotten that Robert Hedges, the actor, played Juan Epstein. Nobody thought that Epstein was bad. I mean, kind of in Welcome Back, Kotter, I guess he was kind of a bad boy. That's right, Gabe Kaplan was Mr. I used to love that show, man. I never missed an episode. Hard to believe that is where John Revolting got, was his first, he was a child actor because he was in other stuff. He was in Disney stuff. But his first big role on primetime TV was as Vinnie Barbarino. Hey, Mr. Carter, you know, yeah. It's kind of funny because Robert Stigwood, when they were casting Saturday Night Fever, they said, well, who are we going to get to play Tony? Tony Manero, whatever his name is in the movie. And Stigwood went, well, because he was English, he goes, well, just go out and recruit John Travolta. Travolta will do it. And at that time, John Travolta was the biggest movie star in the world. Time Saturday Night Fever comes out, Travolta then, of course, he quits television. And then he does that movie with Jamie Lee Curtis, Perfect or whatever it was called. Up your nose with a rubber hose. Remember just the fanciful days of 70s comedy television? That was funny back then. Up your nose with a rubber hose. What was the punchline on Joni Loves Chachi with Scott Baio? Because they had a punchline too. And of course, you had Happy Days with our beloved Henry Winkler. I say beloved because I met him once and he was so kind. He was such a sweet guy. And he's like, no. It was just, I love telling the story. Mr. Winkler, can I take a? Oh yeah, absolutely. And I said, I have to tell you, my favorite film of yours is Office Space. He goes, oh, I loved making that movie. It was so much fun. I loved making that movie. And then you take the picture with, I take the picture with Henry Winkler, and then Henry goes, okay, take the phone. Check the picture. Make sure it's good. I want to make sure you got a good. Are we happy with the picture? I'll take another one if you want. And I went, no, no, Mr. Winkler, thank you very much. He was just he was a nice guy. He was very kind, and he didn't have to be because there was a gang of people. By the time me and Junk Bond and others spotted him, it just kind of got out of control. But remember. I mean, they were actually able to think of the comedy of the Beverly Hillbillies. It's all inside jokes about rednecks. So much, and somebody said the other day to me, you don't know anything about Nick Fuentes. I said, I never said he was wrong about everything. I simply said, and I'll repeat it to you, I simply said that if you're promoting the good, the true, and the beautiful, I don't think it works very well with the sailor's vocabulary. That's what I said. Yeah, Henry Winkler was in The Waterboy. He was the coach. He was also in that Disney movie with Shia LaBeouf, Holes. Remember that? He was the stay-at-home dad inventor. Remember, he was inventing before Shia LaBeouf gets sent to the whole place. He's like, Dad, what are you inventing now? I'm inventing a brand new rubber. And I can't remember what the rubber was going to do, but when Shia LaBeouf comes out of the hole place, he goes back and his dad has actually sold the invention to Nike. They're going to use it to make the shoes. I don't think Henry Winkler was not in Office Space. He was not. I've seen that movie 1,000 times. I can almost quote it from start to finish. I didn't say Office Space. Oh, I didn't. Someone else said. I said Night Shift. I did not say. I know. I said he was in the movie with Shia LaBeouf, Holes. Never said that Henry. I know that Henry Winkler was not in Office Space. You know what? I wish we had a challenge flag and we could back the tape up.
I'm throwing it right now because I'm pretty certain you said it. Your producer is telling you it was an accident, but it happened.
I might have been reading someone else saying that was in Office Space. He wasn't in Office Space. I never said.
You did.
So I will play the tape back, and all of you are going to lose.
No, you're going to lose this one, dude.
I'm not going to lose the challenge.
Absolutely.
Let's get the challenge flag out. You know,
Now y'all know what I deal with daily. Still trapped sometimes. Makes mistakes.
Someone else said Office Space. I repeated what they said, and I said he was not in Office Space. Okay, we're going to roll the tape back, and you're going to eat that one. So all the rest of you, eat it.
Tomorrow you are eating crow.
Eat it.
You are eating crow tomorrow.
If I said that, then you need to call an exorcist because that was a bogey.
TKD is having a stroke. He wasn't in Office Space.
Because there's a bogey that is in me, and the bogey said that because there's no way. Because I know.
This is not the time to act like Jasmine Crockett. You said it wrong. It's okay. It happens.
I said I loved you in Night Shift. He said I had a lot of fun making that movie. All right, let's move on, shall we? Not worried about what I supposedly said or did not say. I did say play digital media file number 15. I did say that. 15, not 14. 15. Henry Winkler was in Night Shift with Michael Keaton.
It is real. We know of at least two that exist in the Dallas area. We're looking broader in Dallas County as well as Collin County, which is right next to Dallas. And that's why I sent the letter to officials both in Dallas and Collin counties to urge them to take action to root out any Sharia courts. And I am deploying the Texas Department of Public Safety to also root out any Sharia courts anywhere in the state of Texas. To be clear, the Texas Constitution does not allow Sharia courts or Sharia law. Texas statutes have banned Sharia law, and we are going to pursue this until we purge any attempt to impose Sharia law in Texas.
How did Sharia law get to Texas? We have been talking about Sharia law, and okay, what is Moran, the Kami Mandani at the end of the day? He's a con artist. What is a con artist? That's a Muslim practice, taqiyya. He's bringing Sharia law to New York. There aren't enough of them there yet to implement it. That's why they got to play the taqiyya game. Apparently, somewhere in Arlington, Texas, or in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I guess, which is where Arlington is, apparently, he said that there is a Sharia law court? Are you kidding me? We have courts of law, and they're not Sharia law courts. And if you know anything about what a Sharia law court does, then you would know that a Sharia law court, talk about a theocracy. You want a theocracy, well, then you want a Sharia law court. It's absolutely incredible to me that it's even possible that there could be a Sharia law court, and who's enforcing it?
We played audio of that imam talking about how they were going to turn Dallas and that area into a Mecca for the Muslim Brotherhood.
We sure did.
Maybe he shouldn't have said that out loud.
And maybe that was part of the reason why they went looking for Sharia law stuff in that area, because they were tipped off. They said, wait a minute, there's a Sharia law court. My question is, who's doing the enforcing? Let's say you're convicted of whatever. I'm not sure how the court works. How does it get enforced? You know, because in Sharia law, like if you get caught stealing, they cut your arm off. Or they have a ceremony where they go, and they go, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And you can find this video of this out there on the internet. Some kid was caught stealing something, I forget however many years ago or whatever. And they took him, and they found him guilty. And his sentence was, okay, which hand did he use? His right hand. They held him down. They got a bulldozer with tracks on it, right? And they strapped him down on the cement. They drove the bulldozer up. They put his arm underneath the tracks of the bulldozer. And they ran over. They crushed the kid's arm. And then after it was crushed and basically useless, it gangrened. And his parents had it cut off. Better sharp played. You're just making it up. I'm not making it up. That's the problem. Now, you can say, well, we don't have that kind of law enforcement here. We need to bring the death penalty back and all that. Okay, all right. I'm not saying there shouldn't be penalties for stealing things. But how are you going to enforce the Sharia law? And you're right, Maggie. We did cover that particular soundbite. I was shocked to hear Greg Abbott say that he has dispatched people to deal with this, because you go like, wait a minute, it's actually happening. It would be, what is the defense? Let's say you get hired to defend the perp. And so you get hired to defend the perp who started the Sharia law court, presided over whatever court case, and then is sentencing Muslims to whatever penalties, finding them guilty and sentencing them, and then who's carrying it out. It's illegal. You can't have parallel systems to jump. This is what I was talking about with the voter registration with the Texas legislature. Changing their voter map, right? The congressional district map. It's the legislature's job to do so. It doesn't have anything to do with the judiciary. The governor can't do it. The judiciary can't do it. Only the legislature can do it. This is in the Constitution. Anyone that has a problem with this, well, then you should probably go live somewhere else where they don't have that kind of district. You know, I suggest Mexico. What is the defense? You want me to tell you what the defense is going to be? First Amendment. The defendant has a right under the First Amendment to practice his religion freely, and that then requires him to have Sharia law and Sharia law courts. And I'm going to tell you something else. Judge Broadbadge, or whatever the hell, what's his name, the one that gave Trump such fits? What is his name? Whatever. You judge shop that. You judge shop that. You go and you find, here's what they're going to do. They're going, let me tell you how this is going to happen. I'm going to tell you exactly how they're going to play this out. I know the playbook. ACLU does it all the time. What they're going to do is they're going to find a district somewhere where there is a state court judge that is, or a local judge that's amenable. He needs to be in a district where the first federal or state appeals court judge is amenable, left hard, who needs to then be in a federal court district where the federal judge is amenable, or the appellate court, federal appellate court is amenable. Then you go and you find an imam, you find a Muslim, and you give them the mission. And you go like, you're going to go here and you're going to start practicing Sharia law, and you're going to do it very publicly. You're going to have people arrested. You're going to have courts. You're going to try them. You're going to convict them. And if the penalty calls for violence or being stoned to death or whatever, you're going to carry out the penalty. And they're going to do it until Greg Abbott or whoever steps in and goes, you can't do that. We don't have Sharia law courts in the United States. And then they're going to try and stop them. And then American law is going to be invoked. And as soon as it is, then they know we're going to fight you on First Amendment grounds. And they're going to know that, look, we've got it locked up all the way up to the federal appeals court. We have our leftards that we know are going to say, yes, this is an issue of religious freedom, and there's nothing really you can do. You're going to lose in court. The last stop is going to be the SCOTUS. Does the SCOTUS take the case? Folks, mess around with these people. Muslims aren't like us. They are serious about Allah. And they are serious when it comes to living under the law of Allah or Sharia law. So get ready for it. It's going to happen. Let's see. What else do we have here? Democrat video urging military. You already know that the Epstein files are going to be released. Trump said, oh, by the way, remember the question that our reporter friend asked in the Oval Office? Mr. President, can you comment on Saudi Arabia's buying F-35s? Are they the same ones that you're selling to the Israelis? And do the Israelis know that you're selling them the same warplane? And Trump went, I think they should, yeah, we build the best planes in the world. I think they're the same, actually. I don't know. That's no, we're going to sell you good planes. They're going to be good planes. That was a really good question. And people that were listening to that went, ruh-roh, raggy. You know how I know? Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know.
How do you know?
Reuters headline, U.S. F-35 jets to be sold to Saudi Arabia to lack Israel's advanced features. So the Saudis must have gone like, that's a really good question. I'm glad you asked that, Mr. President. And Trump went, I don't know. Great planes. We make the best planes. Did you know that we make the best planes? They're the best. Our planes flew a mission to Iran, a little place called Iran. Perhaps you've heard of it. He was asked about it, and then the United States quickly came out and went to the Israelis. To the Israelis, went, no, dude, you're still good. No, we're going to sell them a plane without the double secret probation hypersonic maneuver. How in the hell do you like that? I told you it was a stupid idea, and I think that he should stop. He shouldn't talk. If you're going to do it, don't talk about it in public. Stop saying that the United States manufactures planes and exports weapons of mass destruction. It's dumb. Well, he's been called on it. Okay, you know what? I didn't prep you on this, but this is on my Twitter. Secretary Duffy talking about civility in travel. Maggie's going like, sure it is. I'm making sure because it is. It is. Secretary Sean Duffy calls for a return. It's the one. The video is next to my picture because people lock in pictures.
Well, why would you do that?
To show people how I dress to travel. That's why. No, you have to hear. Oh, okay. I had it open just in case as a backup. Yes.
Air travel is a miracle of American ingenuity. We built airports to launch a golden age of travel across the skies. We respected the dignity of air travel and the men and women who made the dream possible. Flying was a bastion of civility. But today...
Oh, gross.
So
I'm allowed to put my seat back.
But manners don't stop at the gate.
That's right. Manners don't stop at the gate. Things aren't what they used to be. Some would call it the golden age of travel. Let's bring civility and manners back. Ask yourself, are you helping a pregnant woman put her bag in the overhead bin? Are you dressing with respect? Are you keeping control of your children? Are you saying thank you to your flight attendants and your pilots? Are you saying please and thank you in general? The golden age of travel begins with you.
Can I tell you, I got a man crush on Secretary Duffy. Dude's got 9 kids, beautiful wife, beautiful family, transportation secretary, dresses to the nines, and then tells people, as you roll out of bed in your pajamas and went to the airport like that, what in the hell is wrong with you? Can you remember back in the old days, the old chat room during the Corona Doom? If I'd brought this up, y'all remember, he's not in there anymore. He quit a long time ago. There was a dude that would go in the chat room. His name was Cornelius. And dude, right now, Cornelius would be calling 911. Call 911, Elizabeth. Oh, it's the big one. It's the big one. He'd be having the big one and a coronary right now over the mere mention of dressing with dignity in public. And as Secretary Duffy says and shows, they were showing film of people boarding planes. You know, this is a really good barometer. That here you want to. There's a good reference for this. How many of you people saw the Leonardo DiCaprio movie with Tom Hanks, Catch Me If You Can? What's the guy's name? It was actually based on a real life story. Catch Me If You Can covered the real life story of con man. He was a professional con. He was a Democrat, in other words. And at one point, the dude had conned his way into the Louisiana bar. You know, he passed the bar, which was funny. And he also had conned his way into making Pan Am airline attendants and people that worked at the Dallas-Fort Worth airport believe that he was a Pan Am pilot. Because he went to a tailor and he had him make him a suit. He said, I want a suit. Just, thank you, Patriot 21. Frank Abagnale. DiCaprio played him so well, too. And he lifted a suit out of a closet somewhere in the movie. He stole a captain's suit, took it to a tailor, and he goes, I need you to make this fit me. And so they made him the suit, and then he goes to an airport, and he gets a check. And he takes a Pan Am logo, and you see it in the movie. In any event, why do I bring it up? Because when they shot the scenes, and they shot him here in New Orleans. They actually shot him at Louis Armstrong at Moyzan. That whole sequence, that's all shot or most of it was shot right here in New Orleans. When they shot the scenes of DiCaprio, what's he doing? He's walking through the old concourse, the B concourse in New Orleans, with the flight attendants who are all, dressed beautifully to the nines. And they're going to the concourse, and everybody that's in the airport is in their Sunday best. Because it used to mean when you traveled that, you only meet a person once. And your mother used to tell, or mothers used to tell this old wives' tale. They don't tell it anymore, I guess. You only get one chance to make a first impression, right? And as your first impression, you slob. You're Oscar Madison. You just rolled out of bed in your stained sweatpants with your flip-flops and your Fritos corn chip toenails sticking out. And then you threw a wife beater on and you went to the airport dressed like that with your stupid little padded collar around your neck. So Secretary Duffy cutting that little spot and calling for civility and dress and dignity. There's a sense of dignity. And the sense of dignity is that when you meet someone, they're like, oh, he's dressed nicely. I can't tell you how many times you can act Mrs. O'Connell. How many times, because we'll go somewhere in public and they'll say, yes, sir. No, sir. And these are people that don't look like they ever say yes, sir, or no, sir, but they say it to me because I'm in the waistcoat with the bow tie or the necktie, the nice shirt, even if it's summertime. I got a long sleeve on, dress slacks and decent shoes. Why? Because when I meet you for the first time, I want you to know, hey, he's a snazzy dresser. I'm actually not. 30 years ago, I'd be perfectly perfunctory, average. Oh. The stretch pants are everywhere now. It is almost as though God himself came down from heaven and Thanos snapped every woman in North America into a pair of stretch pants. It's disgusting. And now look, if you're bumming around the house, who cares? You're in your house. You're walking or running or whatever. Although I will tell you, Pope Pius XI did write an encyclical, and he did address it to primarily in the Western world to English-speaking women and or mothers and fathers. And he even said in the encyclical, you go read it for yourself. Well, that's just so funny. Well, okay, well, whatever, dude. You want a better society or not? Pius XI said that he was writing about, it was at the beginning of the new Olympic era, and the women were participating in women's swimming. And they were obviously swimming in basically naked with skin tight stuff and what have you here. And then the gymnast came along, and that's the last straw with the gymnast. So, all right. Tomorrow's Free Phone Friday. That means main man Jeff has to call. Tonight is Throwdown Operation Turkey. Bring your best Thanksgiving weirdo or unique dish to the Throwdown tonight. This is something that everyone, even if you don't make one, fine. My wife makes it. My grandma used to make it. My mother made it. My Aunt Petunia. It doesn't matter. I want you all to show up and hang out with us tonight at 6 Central, 7 Eastern. Maybe you learn something. Maybe you go like, I've never heard of that recipe. I'm going to tell you, Mrs. Chur, and she only makes this like once a year, this wonderful pumpkin soup with a chutney. The chutney only gets made for Thanksgiving. We only have it once a year, and we all so look forward to the chutney. My mother-in-law, we ought to make Mama Highheart will be the guest speaker tonight. We ought to make her show up and host. She makes them for us Thanksgiving, and she tells us, Mike, I made your favorite. She makes homemade sopapillas that are the envy of all of Mexico. They are so good. So everybody has something that they make unique. We want to have it talk all about it tonight because we're not going to have a show next Thursday because Thanksgiving, obviously. Yeah, she does make a homemade pumpkin roll that is absolutely to die for. She makes a lot of things that are to die for. So we all have mothers-in-laws and grandmas and wives and brothers and stuff. I'm bringing my world-famous oyster dressing. If Swallow wants to show up and try and challenge me, I'm up to the challenge. I'm sure that because he has his Cajun version, would be completely different from mine. But tonight, 6 Central, 7 Eastern, right here on the Crusade Channel, and on YouTube, you can watch it. So bring your pictures. Start gathering. If you got pictures, you're going to want to need them for the StreamYard to present in the chat room tonight on a very special Thanksgiving throwdown tonight at 6 Central, 7 Eastern, right here on the Crusade Channel. No right or wrong answer. I can't wait to see. My mouth's already watering just thinking about this. I'm hungry. I'm starving. Just think about it. And by the way, thanks to Shafa 13, this was his idea. Shafa 13 yesterday said, I got a great idea. We ought to have, and this ought to only be the show you can do tomorrow night. It ought to be Thanksgiving food. Good idea, Jeff. Yep. Yeah, you should absolutely. We want links. We want ingredient list recipes. We want pictures because people lack in pictures. And we want all of you to show up tonight. It's going to be a great time. Great Thursday night throwdown. So excited about it. It'll be very, very fun. And it'd be great to see what other people cook. Especially the unique stuff that you only get like once a year, your mom or whoever makes it for Thanksgiving. So that's tonight on tonight's Thursday night throwdown. If you want the StreamYard link and you want to be in the StreamYard, you can present in the chat room. You know what? I might work on our StreamYard stuff today to make it so we can get your pictures and everything into the video, okay? It'll take just a little bit of work, and I got a busy day, but I'll try to get to it. If you want the StreamYard link to be on the panel tonight, just email me. I am KingDude at protonmail.com. Hit me up on Signal, official Mike Church Show Signal group, which you can find there. And we'll see you tonight. All right. Thanks for being with us here today. Store is open. We are your Advent HQ. Shop.mikechurch.com. Shop.mikechurch.com. Thank you very much in advance. Thanks for listening and joining us today. God bless you and Mary keep you.